Welcome to the Friday night talking about Viking schedule. It's our Friday night show. Talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about because we don't care. But I was not able to do Viking Vintage Wednesday. I had no voice. I actually missed 3 days of work because I had no voice. So let's get into it.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub.
Yeah, give it up for Yogi for that intro.
Another one for Yogi.
Yeah. Right up. So, we finally get to talk to schedule. There's a couple things that we need to talk about.
Finally, the schedule came out.
Yeah. We need to talk. There's a couple. Go over the schedule, and then I already shared it with Tony, but there is definitely something that we got to talk about.
I'm just gonna put it out there right now. There's a reason I stopped reading SI years ago.
Right. It makes for good commentary that we're having right now. So
Oh my God. Wait, now okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Is SI still a thing? Are they still? I thought they went out of business or something.
I thought they did too. But here's the schedule. I don't know if you guys can let's see it. Okay. So is that too big? Is that still too small?
That actually you can read it.
Okay. So week 1 against the Giants. Now I see the only way the Vikings lose this game is if they come out flat like they always do.
And that's always a possibility because we don't know if KLC is going to play the regulars in preseason or not. So we don't know how many reps they're going to get. I'm assuming starting quarterback will be Sam Darnold, but you never know.
I think even if JJ plays better than Darnold, I think Darnold's still the starter.
Right. But you got to look at the Giants too. They got Daniel Jones as a quarterback. They don't scare me. Put it that way. They don't scare me. So I'm gonna say right off the bat, Vikings win that one. Oh hell, 31-17.
Yeah, I like that score.
Yes, like right out the gate, we're 1-0. And now for historical data, the last time the Vikings opened a season against the Giants, they went to the Super Bowl. They went to their first Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is only the second time they're opening the season against the Giants. I
saw
saw that somewhere, yeah.
Yep.
So,
win or lose, just opening the season again, maybe we'll have the outcome we had in 69, only with a different result.
Somebody thinks we're not winning that game. Anyway.
Yeah, we won't mention
Skullfest 2, San Francisco game.
Okay, this one's going to be close.
I don't think the Vikings are going to be as bad as people think they are.
No.
And San Francisco is San Francisco.
I'm going to say Vikings. It's a toss-up. It's only going to be like a field goal difference. Right now, it's a home game for the Vikings, and it's a new era of Viking football in front of the home team. I'm going to go Vikings, 20-17.
This is the new puppy, everybody.
Is that the new puppy?
Yeah, this is in Kiri, which it's Finnish for beautiful goddess, daughter of God. Of course, it's Norse mythology, so God could be anybody. But yeah, she's about 1.5 years. Dalmatians are a lot of work, but I love Dalmatians.
Is she kind of hyper?
Yes,
Okay.
this is her calm mode.
Her calm pose.
Yeah. So this is it in Curie. So
How old is she?
she'll be 2 July 4th.
Oh, so she's got a ton of energy still.
Yeah. And our other dog, JJ, the Basset Hound, is only 3, so I have 2 hyper puppies.
Oh, you got 2 hyper puppies.
Yeah. So.
So
yeah,
I
so
right off the bat, I got the Vikings at 2-0.
well, Skullfest 2 is
Is that weekend? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So then next week is Houston at home. So it's 2 straight home games. So go ahead and give your thoughts, Tony. I got a call coming in real quick.
Next week we got the Houston Texans. This game's going to be interesting, folks. You get a look at CJ Stroud. I like the Texans a lot. They added some pieces. They've got former Vikings. They've got Diggs. They've got Hunter. They've got some young guys. CJ Stroud, though, is the marquee player, and I like their coach. That game, honestly, that one's going to be another close game. Field goal either way. The Vikings, I don't think have ever lost to Houston. This could be the first time. I'm going to say that game is probably a field goal loss. So that will probably be our first loss of the year. CJ Stroud is just he's probably that next top echelon quarterback. I like him a lot. So right there, I've got us at 2-1. And then week 4, we're at the Packers. Well, it's the Packers. It's in Green Bay. God, that's going to be another tough game too. I will give that one to the Packers. We usually split with Green Bay, so I'll give that one to the Packers. And then we go to London to face the Jets. We win. We beat the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, doesn't matter. We beat the Jets, and then we got our bye. So I'm not a fan of the early bye, but the NFL is kind of staying with certain teams. You go to London, you get the bye. So that one a little early, but I can deal with it. And then after the bye week, we've got the defending NFC North champion Detroit Lions. Yeah, I'm not impressed. Vikings beat them. Vikings win this one. So I've got them right now at what? I got them at like 3-2, heading into a Thursday night game against the LA Rams. Yeah, you're right too, Evil. Injuries are a big thing too. If a team can stay healthy, that helps a lot. Right now, we're just kind of things change at the drop of a hat. But barring injuries, you kind of think this should happen. Playing the Rams on a Thursday night in LA, I'll give that one to the Rams because that one is probably a loss. So then you got kind of a mini bye. And then you face Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Interested to see how Anthony Richardson plays after his injury. But I think the Vikings win that one. So I'm going to give that one to the Vikings. So right now, I believe I have the Vikings at 5-3, heading into a 3-game road trip. This is going to be interesting. First one is at Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville, they have their moments. They're a good team. They're a good young team, but they have their moments where they look like they're going to be world beaters, and then they just look lost. So you never know which Jacksonville team you're going to get. I'm going to give this one. I'm going to give this one to the Vikings. And this is November. So now the key here is for the Vikings, is Darnold still the quarterback, or is JJ now the starting quarterback? That's going to be the question all year.
Sorry about that, Tony. I ordered food like an hour and a half ago. It just got here. It should have been long.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
So
we got to Jacksonville, and I've got the team at like 6-3.
I hope they beat the Texans because I'll never hear the end of it from my wife.
I actually got us losing to the Texans by a field goal.
Yeah.
And then I
can see that, but I'll never hear the end of it from Jamie.
No.
Yeah. And then we always split with Green Bay.
Right. So I figure we lose this one in Green Bay.
It's hard to say because it all depends on how Jordan Love is playing.
It also depends on who's playing quarterback for us, too.
Yeah. I think they beat the Jets.
I got them beating the Jets.
So right now I have them 3-2 going into the bye week.
Okay. Same here. I had them 3-2.
And then they beat Detroit.
I got them beating Detroit.
I think Detroit is one of the most overhyped teams I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I saw one posting. Bleacher Report? They've got the Lions as the number 1 seed in the NFC going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they also have the Bears. People are all over the Bears, and I disagree with that. Not everybody. I've seen some people pick the Bears going 6-11. So I mean, I can see that, but there's people saying that the Bears are going to be really good, and I just don't see it.
Don't hold your breath.
So then we got the Rams.
I got that as a loss.
So do I. So I think we have them at the same record right now.
Yeah.
6-4. Or 5-4. Sorry.
5-4.
They beat the Colts. They beat the Jags. They beat the Titans.
The Jags are a little iffy, but I can see them on a 3-game winning streak.
And then they always lose to Chicago. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Although the last couple of years they kind of broke that tradition. But
well, and it's also now look, we're going to Chicago in November, so that field's going to be tore up. We don't know what the weather's going to be. It's going to be probably windy as hell.
Yeah.
So
I'm still going to give them a loss.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give them a win.
Okay, so that's 6-4 for me, 7-3 for you.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Arizona.
Yes.
They beat Kirk Chains. I think Brian Flores is going to destroy Kirk Cousins.
Now here's a great storyline too. Is Kirk going to be the starter when he comes up here?
I think they put too much money into Kirk Cousins. The only way he won't play is if he gets hurt again.
I don't know. I think if Kirk falters, Raheem Morris is going to pull him. I think.
Yeah, but we know how Kirk is. So he plays good enough to get you halfway decent. You know,
if he's got a good supporting cast. He's got to have a good supporting cast for that.
Well, his supporting cast is better than Minnesota. And you notice he also avoided the question about the hypothetical about.
Oh yeah.
I don't speak in hypotheticals or something like that. I mean, the Vikings were honest with him.
Yeah.
Talking about drafting a quarterback, and he went to Atlanta. When Atlanta drafted a quarterback, so. What was the point of that?
Somebody should ask him, what are you so scared of having a young quarterback behind you?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you so scared of? You got guaranteed money. What's the problem? What's the problem?
Yeah.
So then we got the Bears on Monday Night Football.
That's a win.
That's a win. That's a win. They need depth on the defensive line badly and the offensive line. Um, I don't know what we're going to do with Bradbury. Bradbury could still be a June 1st cut. So
Yeah.
there should be some coming the after June 1st when the cut down date is.
Yeah, Fish. I kind of agree with that. I think he's going to cost them. He's going to cost them more than just a game this year.
Put it this way: those games he won last year by being the way he is, he's losing this year. He's going to lose them. I mean, he's going to have to actually coach. He can't be impulsive. So,
What up, No Stop? We had a good time with you last.
Yeah, NFC North is black and blue again.
Well, too evil. I understand what you're saying, but I think the division is being like people are saying that the Bears are going to be like. Why? It just amazes me that Caleb Williams is going to come in and not struggle. He's just going to come in and dominate.
No, he's not. He's not.
I don't under. Oh well, look at the weapons he has. Well, yeah. What did Keenan Allen ever do with the Chargers? And he had a far better quarterback.
Well, here's another thing too.
You know, and he can't stay healthy either.
Caleb Williams is not in California. He's going to face cold weather.
Yeah.
So that could be another thing too that could mentally screw with him, especially that wind in Chicago. Yeah, and that's true too, Evil. A couple of years ago, the NFC North was like, we were even before then, we were the NFC South. Now the NFC South is like the weakest division. You know? Yeah, Campbell's going to have to use strategy now instead of just kind of being that, as they used to say, blowhard.
So I have them splitting with the Bears. I have them beating the Cardinals because the Cardinals have not beaten Minnesota since 1997. It's 10 straight wins. And they can't lose to Kirk Cousins.
No, they're going to be – I got them sweeping the Bears.
All right. I have them losing to Seattle.
I have them losing in Seattle.
And then this is the Green Bay game that we get.
They beat them.
And then they sweep the Lions.
I got them sweeping the Lions.
Because everybody talks about how good the Lions were. And I know every year is different. No team is exactly the same. I get that. But the Lions barely beat Minnesota last year. And they lost to them once. And the second time, if we had a quarterback with a halfway decent arm, they beat the Lions again.
Yeah.
Because JJ was open. Nick Mullins underthrew it into coverage. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the Lions are going to go 50. Some people are saying they're going to go 16-1. Come on, really?
Realistically, this team, 10-7 or 11-6.
The Lions?
No, the Vikings.
Yeah, I say the Vikings are anywhere, depending on what happens. The Vikings are going to be anywhere between 7-10, and at the most, I see 12-5. But
the Lions are probably going to fall to like 8-9.
Thank you, George.
Oh, thank you, George.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lions are probably going to fall to like an 8-9 or 9-8 record.
Right. So what's everybody's prediction? Drop it in the chat, or you can come in. I'll throw the link out there. You can come on and you can give your prediction, the schedule.
Davey, 12 wins is realistic. I'm telling you, it is realistic. I mean, this schedule does not scare me at all, which is why I don't understand what the hell SI was thinking.
So they have. Okay. Let me make this bigger. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So this is SI. So this is what they have. NFC team record predictions.
Actually, Two Evil having an early bye week does bug me.
But there was an interview with Kevin O'Connell. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted the early one this year.
Well, yeah, and you get a mini bye week because you got the Thursday night game and then you got a Sunday afterwards. So you got kind of a mini bye. So it all works out. I mean, you got to line up and play whenever, regardless. So. So what do they got the Lions at here in this
They
game?
have the Lions at Lions are 13-4.
No. That's a bunch of. You need to put that warning up there. That is a bunch of.
So they have wins against the Rams, the Bucks, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, Cowboys, Vikings, Titans, Jaguars, Colts, Bears, Packers, 49ers, and Vikings.
They're not sweeping us. They're not sweeping us.
Well, not only that, they have them. So they have them tying with the Seahawks, tying with the Bears, and tying with the Packers. Yeah. Losses at Packers, at Texans, first Bills, at Bears. And they also have San Fran at 13-4.
Well, I don't even think that's realistic.
Yeah. And then Eagles 12-5. The Eagles are not going 12-5 this year.
Mm-mm.
Not with all these.
You know what though? The NFC East ain't that strong.
That is not going to happen.
Now that's bullshit. Right there, Atlanta at 12-5.
Now, if you guys notice a theme here, you'll notice that they pick every team a win. And there's one particular team that's on. If they play us, they put the other team as a win against Minnesota. That's a prelude to what's coming. They got the Rams at 11-6 and wins. Wow, look who's on there again.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Right there.
A lot of bias.
The Chicago Bears.
No.
Bears are going to sweep us, guys.
Screw that.
The Buccaneers are 10-7. I can see that.
That's a possibility.
Arizona 9-8. And look, hey, look what they beat.
I can see why this magazine went out of business. They suck.
Commanders 9-8, but I'm sure if they played Minnesota, it'd be a win. The Taints 8-9. Packers 8-9. They also have us. So I don't see how they can sit there and say that the Packers are going to have a worse record than the Bears.
They got Atlanta
Cowboys
beat better than us. That's an even bigger joke.
Cowboys 7-10. Seahawks 6-11. One of their 6 wins. Giants 4-13.
And look at one of their wins.
Look at one of their wins. And there we go, guys. They have us finishing last in the NFC.
Who do they have us beating?
They have us beating the Colts, the Jags, and the Packers once.
Yeah.
It says losses at Giants. And all this is the Vikings opening training camp with a quarterback competition between veteran newcomer Sam Darnold and rookie J.J. McCarthy. If McCarthy isn't ready to be the immediate starter, the Vikings offense take a hit this season with Darnold, who struggled with the New York Jets and Carolina Panthers early in his career. But the Vikings added plenty of talent on defensive side to possibly make up for the adjustment of the year the offense they have without Kirk Cousins. Jonathan Grenard, rookie Dallas Turner, formed a new Vikings pass rushing duo. I don't see 3-13. I mean, um, they kind of talk about it both sides of the mouth. They're 3-14, but our defense is improved.
It's Sports Illustrated.
And Kirk Cousins was supposed to be a horrible quarterback, and now the Vikings are going to be in a dumpster fire because they got rid of Kirk.
Well, the media loves him since he left Minnesota.
Yeah. And the only team below us is, of course, the Panthers.
I'm just gonna say it. Fuck Sports Illustrated. No wonder nobody bought that sorry ass magazine. God.
I wish Sarah was here, so her commentary.
It's like they just and it's still in the national media now. Everybody is kissing Kirk's ass. They're like, why didn't they tell them they were going to draft a quarterback? They owed that to Kirk. They don't owe a goddamn thing to Kirk. Kirk is not owed anything.
No.
He is not owed a damn thing. Actually, you know what, Davey? I did have that Tudor strategy football game. I did have that. I haven't played Risk in years. Yeah, they did.
Yep.
You're right, Fish.
Risk is okay. I don't remember the Tudor starting football game. What I remember is the football game that had the VHS tape that came with it. And
that was I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, they came on the 80s.
Yeah, you had like a game board, and you would guess to play, I guess.
Tudor had the one that it actually had a playbook and explained defenses and stuff like that. And it was NFL strategy. It took a while to play, but it was a good game. Okay, is this rock bands? Jesus.
Well, define your definition of rock.
I usually just go.
Air Supply ain't rock, even though some people say they are.
Air Supply sucks. Who listens to Air Supply?
I'm just saying. Some people say they're rock. But what's the
Yeah.
definition of rock?
Yeah, now hit my head with the rock if I have to listen to them.
I used to think it was a guy and a girl when I was a kid.
Oh my
Because
god!
my mom used to listen to Air Supply. That should tell you what kind of a group they are. But, yeah. So, I mean, if we're talking rock, are we talking like all metals of rock? Like,
Okay,
are we talking metal? We talking classic rock? We talking rock? What are we talking?
So I usually lump all my metal bands in together with like certain older school metal bands and new school metal bands. I kind of lump them in together. All together, rock bands, hard rock, heavy metal bands. Number 1, AC/DC, 2, Iron Maiden, 3, Metallica, 4, Slayer, 5, Kiss, and I'm leaving off Anthrax and Megadeth and Exodus, Celtic Frost, Venom.
I don't like Kiss at all.
I've been a Kiss fan all my life. Since I was 10.
Megadeth for me. They're my all-time favorite. Say what you want about Dave. I know a lot of people don't like Dave, but
I think Dave is.
I would say I want to say Pantera second.
See, I love Pantera.
Then
and Fish.
I'm trying to say. I'm saying, are we going to say old new groups? Because I got because I want to throw some new groups in there, but Motorhead is probably 3.
See, I was in the Motorhead. I was into Venom. I was into Celtic Frost.
Yeah,
like the darker stuff. I listened to I liked Accept. I liked bands like that.
Sabotage was pretty good too.
Which one?
Sabotage.
Sabotage was good. They were actually good in concert. I saw them in concert.
Yeah.
I was a big Testament person.
I think Testament should be in the big 4 as opposed to Anthrax. So I'll finish my list out by I'm gonna say Deep Purple and probably.
And I forgot about Deep Purple. I love Deep Purple.
And gonna do
Thin Lizzy, another band I love.
This guy. It's hard to say. It's hard
What's
to
up,
say who the
guys?
fifth band is because I don't want to leave anybody off, but I gotta.
Yeah, see, I forgot all about. I mean, because I've listened to so many bands and I like so
Yeah.
many bands, I'm just all over the place.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put Testament 5.
Okay.
Their Souls of Black album was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, that was a good album. I love that album.
Yeah. What up, Steve?
What's up?
Your boy didn't go to the fifth.
What?
He didn't go to pick 150.
Oh well.
So I wanted to. Actually, I'm glad you came on because there was something I wanted to discuss with you, and it pissed me off. So I wonder if it pissed you off too.
What's that?
The whole hullabaloo about NFL GMs not liking Spencer Rattler because of a documentary he did when he was 17 years old.
You know, I overlook stupid shit like that. I just don't. Fuck. Well, wait. Sorry, I don't mean to swear on your show.
No, hold on. Give me 1 second. This is Friday night, man.
Right.
Oh, sure. He gets the sticker and I don't.
Well, you haven't cussed yet.
Yes, I have.
Well, was I not here? Was that when I wasn't here?
No, you were here. I dropped a couple of F-bombs.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I think I was looking up something.
you know what? I don't give two pints of freaking effing piss on what any media or anybody says about Spencer Rattler or anything. I'm happy he got, he's with the Saints, and I wish him all the best, whatever. I'm just, it's funny. Like, me and Sarah was chatting about, like, TB, I heard you say a little bit ago about the Sports Illustrated. She brought up a thing to me today saying that the Bears and Lions are going to have such great records, and the Packers and Vikings are like records, they're going to suck.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said the Packers are going to go 8-9.
Yeah.
I think I'm picking the Packers doing the division as of right now.
Well, I've been over on so many other podcasts. I'm gonna tell you guys, but I missed you guys. I haven't been around your guys' show for a while, and like whatever. But it's like I told Sarah, I'm not. She says other Packer fans have said, "Oh, the Packers are going to." This Packer fan right here ain't running his mouth. I'm not going to do all this herping and chirping on how good we're going to be or whatever. I'm letting things just go. All this tidbit about like like these Lions and Bears, and like I was listening to I was on the GG show with Jamie and Casey, and I love those guys. And Jamie had like the Vikings going 8-0, like 8 games straight. I'm like, dude, you fell down the steps and you hit your head on every step on the way down. I mean, I told Sarah, I'm not taking nothing away from the Vikings because. One, I think their defense should be stellar. Yes, they lost Donnell Hunter, but I think the 3 guys they got in free agency, plus picking up Turner and whatever. Now, if this defense doesn't, like I told her, if this defense does not excel this year or whatever, and blah, 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 then there's going to be some question that Flores should be fired. And I think TB should be the new defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, since he played defense in real life or whatever.
Well, it'd help his bank account.
I'm going to help my bank account big time. Go back to a 4-3. No, here's the thing now with Flores. Flores went to this coaches seminar or something this week. And it's almost like it's kind of one of these things where they're getting certain coaches ready to become head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at that and I'm like, he was already a head coach. So he's got 1 more year left with the Vikings, unless the Vikings give him a new contract or extend an extension. But he's got that lawsuit with the NFL. I don't know if he's gotten rid of that lawsuit or what, but he should be a head coach right now. He really should be.
Flores?
Yes.
Well, yeah. But the whole league's funny. The whole league is funny, and so forth. That's why I don't really go by all the media hype and stuff. I just can't.
You can't because whatever the media puts out there, the NFL's force feeding it to them.
Right. I mean, I was so happy even the other day over on in the GG show. I actually won a JJ McCarthy rookie card, and I said, "Give it to Sarah," and they gave it to her.
Oh, for JJ?
Yeah, JJ McCarthy. Yeah, they was giving away McCarthy rookie card, and one dude won it before, but he wasn't there, so they spun it again, and it was me. And soon it was me. I saw in the comments, Sarah goes, "Yay!" And I said, "Give it to Sarah. Just give the card to Sarah."
Yeah, hey JJ, what's going on?
What up, nephew?
Yeah, I don't even know. With the Vikings, it all depends on. I'm sure Darnold starts the season. How far in JJ takes over, I guess, depends on if the offense is moving.
Well, yeah.
It all depends.
But let me ask you this honest question: what do you think about the golf extension?
Oh God!
Right.
Oh.
It's going to affect you guys more because Jordan Love's going to want more money.
Yeah.
Well, you know what though, bro? People ask me like how there's nothing I can feel on that because there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, and here's the thing too. Not only Jordan,
aren't you an owner? Don't you have a share of the team?
Well, a little because I only donate 37 cents every time I get a chance.
My God, you're stingy.
Hey,
it's like
man,
the coal lads.
That's my life savings. What are you talking about, man?
Well, no, it'll affect Jordan to a point, but the one that'll really affect Jordan is what Dak Prescott's going to get. Because Dak is up for an extension too. So,
but are they going to give it to him?
Jerry's an idiot. He will. I hope he does.
But
I hope he does.
I think what I was getting at, I've seen this many times through the years, and I'm sure TB and Cash, you guys saw it too. When a quarterback like Goff gets a big thing like that, the team seems to fall out. Like the team's not going to excel.
Well, that's because usually the quarterback gets his money and how much is guaranteed, how much is he going to put out now? I mean, how much is he going to exert that extra, will? He got his extension. He got paid. We'll see what happens. But and Goff, this is a big payday for him because he was a throw-in that trade.
Yeah, because who was it? Sarah? Yeah, it was Sarah. And I thought it was funny when we was texting the other day. She brought up the bit about how Goff and Stafford got traded, and Stafford ended up taking the reins to the Super Bowl and won it, and Goff never did that.
No.
Goff never. Now Goff's.
He did take him to the Super Bowl, but he didn't win.
Right. And so forth.
Yeah, and the thing about it was he got exposed in that Super Bowl. He really did.
Yeah. I mean, because I told Sarah, and I'm sure you two are going to agree. The Vikings defense, their secondary is the weakest. That's the weakest point of the Vikings defense is the secondary. I think everywhere else the Vikings are fine on defense, but their secondary,
their interior defensive line, as of right now, does not look very strong.
It's not.
It's not. But
it could be.
You won't really see it if teams don't run on us. If teams run on us, yeah, it's a problem. But since most teams don't run the ball anymore,
sorry, Northeast. That's my new puppy.
That's the new puppy making all that noise.
Yeah, it's not me.
Usually it's Sarah. So since Sarah's not here, somebody's
got to make up for it.
Yeah. She literally. Okay, so my dog that passed away like a month and a half ago, and my other dog JJ. They have had these toys for almost a year. Steve's already got them all tore up and they're destroyed. That's what Dalmatians do, though. Like she takes out the little squeaky toy in the middle. But we just covered the Sports Illustrated thing, Steve, and it was pretty dumb.
I can see why they no longer are in publication.
And I even asked the question because they showed the strength of schedule. Like Cleveland's 1, Ravens are 2, Steelers are 3, Packers are 4, tied with the Texans as well. They're tied 5. And I'm like, and then you look at the other NFC North teams, and they're like down the list of strength of schedule.
Yeah, the Vikings are tied for 16th.
Now, to me, I don't really consider that a issue, like big deal. Like I'm not like, oh, well, it's not fair. We played a tougher schedule. I don't really go by that. But it's funny how there was things said that how did the Packers end up with a tougher schedule with the rest of the division?
Here's my whole thing with these numbers, and this is just bugs me about the NFL. Now, keep in mind, I used to do stats for football, so I should like numbers. Here's my problem. It's a new year. Who gives a damn what they did last year? Because those strength of schedules is based off of what you did last year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody. Okay, we got the sticker. Nobody gives a fuck what you did last year. It's a new year. That's the only thing we care about. It's a new goddamn year.
Right.
Show me what you're going to do this year. I know what you did last year, which really didn't impress me. If you're the Lions, I don't care. Show me what you're going to do this year. Just show me.
Right.
Show me. I'm so sick. And I'm just going to put it out there. You Lions fans and Bear fans, go fuck yourselves. Until you can do it for more than 2 years and be on top of the division, sit your asses down, get the popcorn, and go sit your asses on the couch where you usually do, because come playoff time, that's probably where your asses will be. Right. Watching the Packers and the Vikings.
Right.
Let's get the fuck out of here. See what happened, Curtis? You got me fucking cursing all the time now.
Hey, that's why I put the thing there. So I'm looking at Sporting News. They have the Vikings going 8-9.
That's more realistic.
Yeah. So Fox Sports, Carmen Vitale, she has them going 8-9.
Okay.
The 33rd team, 6-11. Which 6-11. If everything goes wrong, 6-11 is where the Vikings will be.
Well, and I'm gonna.
If Darnold plays like he did with Carolina, sticks up the place. JJ's not ready, plays like Ponder. I can see 6-11.
But here's another thing we got to take into consideration too, as Viking fans. A lot of that also depends on KLC and his play calling. His game management has a lot to do with it. KLC's got to improve his game management and play calling at certain times in the game. That would go a long way too.
Did their O-line get any better this year?
Hell no.
No.
Who,
okay.
Minnesota?
No.
Yeah.
It's still better than Chicago's.
Yeah, we still got the problem at center known as Bradbury, the marshmallow.
You guys didn't get a center in the draft anywhere?
Yeah, we did. I don't know. He plays guard. I think he did play center at one time. He plays both, so he could be the new starting.
He played most of his games at center.
Okay, so he could be an improvement at center, and they got a couple of decent linemen in the UDFA's. So JDT, the problem with Reisner is he's very he's very mid to like below mid.
Yeah.
He's not a great run blocker, and his pass blocking is kind of 50-50. That's why, but he wants a lot of money. That's why usually teams wait until later in the year to sign him because then he signs for veterans minimum.
So Tyler Fornes is the main article we on here. He's saying that the Vikings will enter the 24 season with first round quarterback in a decade, J.J. McCarthy. He'd be a big determining factor as to what the Vikings record is going to be. What do the experts think about the Vikings record? I predicted the Vikings to go 7-10 in my initial predictions, and other experts or the similar thinking. So Fox North, like Fox Sports, Carmen Talley, 8-9. She thinks the Vikings will be better this season. Yes, it's a transition year for the Vikings.
She's only got us one game better.
But they brought in the quarterback of the future. So I can see that. He's a project. I get that. Then the 33rd team, Marcus Mosher, 6-11, one game worse. The J.J. McCarthy couldn't have walked into a better situation as a rookie. The Vikings have playmakers all over the field in one of the league's top offensive lines. Other than
wait. Does this fool watch football? Does he watch Viking games? How the hell do we have the top offensive line?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just reading. Plus, Kevin O'Connell is a fantastic play caller. Constantly put so if all the so we have a good offensive line. Kevin O'Connor is a good head coach.
Okay, you know what?
Auto situations, but yet they're going to go 6-10.
Real good there, Marcus Mosher, whatever the fuck your name is, idiot.
Now you're seeing what Vikings fans complain about when they talk about the Vikings. How they like talk kind of both sides of their foul. Well, the Vikings have all this good stuff, but they're going to go 6-10 because it's the worst case scenario.
Next.
Bleacher Report, Marcus 8-9, which I can see that. I can see that happening.
8-9 sounds more realistic.
Yeah. So
I can see that.
Yeah. So
I got us at 10 and 7 or 11 and 6.
I say 10 and 7. I would say is the best for you guys.
Yeah.
No, I would say 12-5 is the best, depending on what happens. And because injuries happen.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
So you don't know. We could be playing the Packers and Jordan Love could be hurt. I'm not putting that bad juju. I'm just thinking you're a Packer fan. It was the first.
Well, we still got Michael Pratt,
but
you also got Greg Joseph to cost you games.
Let's say during the Jets game, Aaron Rodgers is hurt again. Well, there ain't a quarterback on that roster who's going to be Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers is hurt. So stuff like that. So it's always, the injuries are a big key. Like Vikings last year played 4 different quarterbacks and they went 7-10. So
yeah, and they probably would have been okay if KOC hadn't messed with Dobbs' style of play.
And you guys might win a couple more games because I just saw the other day you guys signed our old tight end Robert Tonyan.
See, I brought this question up. Did they sign Tonyan because Hawkinson's not as far as they wanted him to be?
Yes. That's the only reason you signed Tonyan. Because right now, Hawkinson probably is mid-season to come back.
What happened to him?
He took that hit from that dude in Detroit, tore up his knee.
He got hurt. He got hurt same way the Rams tight end got hurt.
Yeah, and it took him forever.
Higbee.
Yeah, it took him forever to get to surgery because he couldn't get the swelling down, and so he was going to get it right after the season, but the swelling was so great that I don't think he had it till March catch?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have surgery till March. So, but I mean, Tonyan, definitely is
JJ, if you want to come on and talk about your interviews you've done lately, you're more than welcome to, buddy. You can join on the link, or you can go into StreamYard and join there. I know you have access to it. If you guys don't know, JJ's been killing it lately with his guests.
Hey, what's up, JJ? And God bless you, JJ.
It's like my biggest thing is, why does everybody all of a sudden think that the Bears are going to be a great team?
Because they got the media darling known as Caleb.
But here's the thing, though. They act
Well,
like he's not going to struggle at all.
Because part of that is because the way the rules are in the NFL, the rules are now that if you're a quarterback, you're going to put up amazing numbers regardless because you can't play defense anymore. So all he's got to do is play pitch and catch. That's all the NFL is nowadays.
And I think it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The fact that the Lions are playing the Bears on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but that happens a lot, though.
Right. I mean, see, this is a problem I have. I admit I have a problem.
Well, that's the first step.
Well, when it comes to the NFL and this whole money propaganda, and I remember TB, I think I asked you a while back, and you said they're supposed to, but you don't know if it's going to happen, about the Bears getting a new stadium.
Yeah, it's been talked about. They've ramped it up even more.
Right. So
not for $4 billion thing.
But when I hear something like that happens, that there tells me that someone and some expectations, a team is going to do good. They're going to win more, whatever, to get that money to help with the whole stadium propaganda and the whole revenue and whatever. Mm-hmm. Not saying that they're going to win the division, go to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but
they're trying to get that stadium. They're trying to get that.
What year did the Vikings stadium open? 2015?
No, we got our stadium in 2020. It was voted upon in 2013. We got our stadium.
I mean, is it going to be a new stadium, or is Soldier Field going to get
No, they're going to build a new enclosed stadium.
A dome?
Yeah. It's not a dome. It's not a dome. It's going to have a clear roof, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But it's going to be enclosed. It's going to be.
The Vikings started that clear ceiling stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody plays in a dome anymore except for the Saints.
All the places offer
Lions.
All the new places.
Well, the Lions aren't dome either. The Lions are just enclosed.
All the new stadiums all offer some kind of sunlight.
Yeah.
Some kind of natural lighting.
But here's a kicker.
Some kind of window you can open. Stuff like that.
But by NFL rule, when it's 50 degrees or colder, you can't open it.
Yeah.
So you can open it at 51 degrees, but you can't open it at 49.
They said in 10 years, there's probably only going to be 3 or 4 teams that play
outdoors. Yeah. Yes, JJ, the Raiders are indoors too. Their field is indoors. The Rams is indoors.
Cardinals
are in. Well, okay. Yeah, the Cardinals are indoors. Is there a retractable?
Well, if you go by division, AFC East, I think, is the only division that does not have a team that plays indoors.
The Giants and Eagles.
No, the AFC East.
Oh, the AFC East?
I think they're the only one, because the Dolphins play outside, the Patriots play outside, the Bills play outside, and the Jets play outside.
And the Bills have been in the market now for a new stadium too.
Right. Well, they're building a new stadium.
Yeah. Oh, are they?
Yep. But the fans are going to be covered in the new stadium. The field is not.
So it's going to be a soccer stadium.
So, and then the Jets are talking about getting a new stadium in Queens.
So they're going to leave the Giants in Jersey and they're going back to New York.
Yeah, that's what the Jets want.
Because I don't see how they made it this long trying to make any money over there.
And then, so the Cleveland, their new stadium is going to be enclosed.
Wait, Cleveland's getting a new stadium?
Yeah, they're talking about it, and the plans are for it to be a dome closed stadium. Well, not a dome, because it's going to have one end where you can open like windows, or have the side open, or kind of like the Mariners ballpark, where the Mariners ballpark has a roof but it's open. Something like that. But then Cincinnati.
Let's be honest,
they're saying the 5 teams that will be playing outside in 5 to 10 years are going to be the Bills, going to be the Bengals, the Packers, because the Packers are never going to leave Lambeau.
Niners.
Yep, Niners. All right, Norpheus, thank you for joining us as usual, buddy. Have a good night.
Have a good one, Norpheus. And the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Everybody else will be
in the dome.
Has anybody heard anything about San Diego? Not San Diego, but yeah. Has anybody heard anything about the Chargers moving back to San Diego?
I haven't.
They're not making any money in LA.
Well, no, any team that doesn't own the stadium doesn't make like the Jets and the Chargers. They don't make any money because
Yeah, they're paying rent
yeah,
to, especially with the Chargers and Rams. Chargers are paying rent to
yep,
Kroenke because he built that stadium in his own pocket.
yep. So that's what it's going to be. Yeah. I'm glad the Vikings got their stadium when they did because the prices of stadiums now are just astronomical.
Yeah. Hey, catch JJ's looking for the link.
Yeah. You can also go in JJ. You can also go to StreamYard and open that up and just join right off of there too. Because we use the same StreamYard. But yeah, I as of right now, I don't see because even if Jordan Love takes a step back, it's not going to be a huge step back. And I think the Packers are going to. I think the Packers, if their defense plays halfway decent, I think they're going to be the best team. They're going to have the best record in the division. I would take them over the Bears definitely, and I would take them over the Lions as well.
I would take them over the
Bears. The one thing the Packers have done that the Bears and the Lions have not done is that the Packers are consistent. The Packers win, unless they have a catastrophic injury like Aaron Rodgers a couple years ago.
Right.
The Packers win. And I hate to say it because I don't like the Packers, but the Packers win. So that's why I think they're going to win the division just because of the experience of winning the division. I think the Lions are too full of themselves right now.
I'm sick of the Lions.
What up, JJ?
Hey, JJ.
So, JJ, tell us about your week and tell us about some of the interviews you've had lately, man. You're killing it, man.
What's up? Thank you. So, during the week, obviously I've been sort of like not really advertising myself, but like telling people about me, just seeing if it's in their interest to come on my show. And it's a lot easier with the people that that are in more of our circle or our group, like Spitfire Coda. It was pretty easy to get her on because Uncle Rab knows her, the entire Purple Gang basically knows her. So that was pretty simple. But the week was really nice, and I'm glad that it's finally weekend. Unfortunately, we had 2 days of like this state testing in school that obviously everybody hates.
Yeah.
Oh, they still do that?
Nobody likes testing.
No.
But you didn't just have Dakota on. You had some pretty big Vikings people on too. You had PA, and you had a guy from a school in North. I can't think of his name right now.
Mackey
Phil
and
Mackey.
Judd.
Yeah, Phil Mackey on. Yes. Yeah. So how was that?
When I was interviewing PA though, Aunt Sarah, she had to watch herself in the chat. She really did.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, because he's not like a normal Viking guy. He actually is like with the Vikings, it's in themselves. So he's kind of like, a little bit different,
And were we talking about NFL stadiums? Because I have my critiques on stadiums. So first of all, I do not. I do not agree with the rule of not being able to open up the stadium under 50 degrees. That's a little too warm not to open up a stadium. And as much as I love US Bank Stadium, I don't really like how the Vikings have gone away from this cold mentality. It was because it was great home field advantage that Gopher Stadium we were playing in.
And they've done that. They did that because they wanted a Super Bowl. It was there was talk that the stadium was going to be open air, but they wanted a Super Bowl. So once again, they put a roof on it and they put the glass, but I wanted an open air stadium. That's kind of Minnesota's mystique. And they haven't really been the same since they've been indoors.
Yeah, and LA, I don't agree with the Chargers being in LA. I don't see them like at all like fitting in LA. And when I think of LA or SoFi Stadium, I just automatically think Rams. I don't think Chargers at all. I think they should go back to San Diego.
Well, the funny thing is, though, is of the two teams, the Chargers are the team that actually started in LA.
That's true.
The
That's
Rams
true.
started in Cleveland.
Rams
and
were the Cleveland
Chargers
Rams.
started in LA when they were in the AFL. So it's kind of funny how the Rams are quote unquote LA's team, but the Chargers were actually the team that started there. So it's kind of I just find it funny.
Yeah,
But you're right though. The Rams are considered LA's team.
Yeah. Well, and about the let's say the Bears Stadium. So I also read that the Commanders Stadium too is getting a
Good night.
potentially
Mama.
getting a
Love
new
you.
stadium.
the
also-
Commanders are moving back into the DC area. They want to go back into DC.
From what I understand, that I just saw there's a guy I follow on YouTube. He's called Depressed Ginger. He is really good at doing stadium talk. That's pretty much his channel is talking stadiums. He had a show about how the only way that they're going to get, because DC is not a state, so they can't get funding like a regular state does. They actually have to get federal funding for a stadium. So, like I'm talking like politicians from like Wyoming and Montana and like New York, they're all commenting on this because it's not a state. So there's there's a little bit more requirements that they need to get approval as opposed to just to a state giving it. I don't know if they're going to get a dome stadium or not. But we'll see. Sorry,
They'll get it. They'll get it.
I think they'll get it. But one guy said he's not going to vote for it until they change their name. He says he does not like the.
Well, they're not going back to the Redskins, so forget it.
I think he was thinking more of like Warriors. That way you could still use like the old logo.
You'll never have another team that isn't Golden State named the Warriors.
Yeah.
The Golden State put a patent on it.
So.
I mean, get used to Commanders. You know.
Yeah, I saw a Twitter account named like it was a fan page, but it said Washington Redskins, and I heard that the Commanders actually reached out to them to change their name from like Washington Redskins and put like unofficial behind it or something like that. And the fans, well, they were going crazy. They were like, "Well, he's the Redskins and you're the Commanders, so forget about it." Or, well, you never should have changed your name to the Commanders in the first place, or things like that. And I think the Commanders, I feel like is the worst name in the league.
I thought they were going to go with Renegades. I would have went with Renegades. Renegades was there, and you could have used.
You could have still used like the Washington with the feathers out, like
right. You still could have used that because there was a USFL team called the Orlando Renegades, and they actually had that where they had the tomahawk was on their helmet with feathers. So, you could have
when I was 10,
that would have been
when I was 10 years old. My idea was the Washington Goldies, and now I kind of regret saying that.
The Goldies?
I mean, to me, to my 7-year-old, not 7, to my 10-year-old mind, they kind of looked they kind of looked like gold-ish.
Yeah,
they were burgundy. Am I right?
Yeah, they were burgundy and gold, or the
they were. But there were some years they had a lot of gold in their uniform, more gold than burgundy.
Yeah, like when they had the spear on their helmet.
Yeah, they were almost like University of Minnesota colors. Gophers had a all gold uniform in the 70s.
Well, I like the Jim Wacker
uniforms. Now, about stadiums, I think I'm gonna talk about, let's say, Gillette Stadium. I think it's an all right stadium. Like it's somewhat cool.
Mm-hmm.
But they have that like the rest of the stadium. It looks like a regular outside stadium, but they have this weird gate thing on like the right side of the stadium, and I'm not sure why it's there because fans don't even get in through there. Not that I know of. So
they've mentioned a new
not sure why it's there, but also.
Well, they also have that. Don't they have a shopping complex built next to the stadium as well?
I think everything is right there for them. I think the complex is there, and then the stadium. I think that's how they got their setup. Yep.
But there isn't much to do outside of the stadium though. It's really like
Oh,
I saw like an overview of the stadium. It looks really like
yeah, it's just it's kind of like put there, and there's nothing but a bunch of parking spaces. There's really nothing around it.
it's all bushy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like it's in the woods.
There's nothing around there. Kind of describes the state of Massachusetts. Bushy.
Unless you're in Boston.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna hate on Mass as long as I live here. Yeah.
Hey, Mary, how's it going? It is
I
exciting.
think the other 31 NFL teams. I feel like the other 31 NFL teams really messed up letting Brian Flores have Ivan Pace Jr. and Dallas Turner together.
Yeah, they did. And now you got the UCLA kid too. I think he's going to be all right. It's the defense is going to be okay. We are fine at, which is weird. 2 years ago we needed linebackers. Now we have linebackers. We don't have an interior D line.
Yeah, Tillery's not a defensive tackle.
Yeah, it's not that they re-signed James Lynch, but they still need that big body in the middle. So we'll see what happens. They got a couple of free agents that might fit the bill. There's also the June 1st cuts. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, they still need that big body. But if you're an opposing team playing the Viking defense, you would run the ball, which I'm surprised a lot of teams haven't done. Run the ball, set up play action, but yeah, they're kind of in those passing formations, which basically you're going to have Turner, Grenard in their track stances ready to collapse that pocket. And if you send Pace, that's extra heat. So, and Pace can also pass cover. So, if you're Brian Flores, you kind of got pieces that you can put in there on the defense. It's just the offensive side now. Like I said, KOC, it's all on him now. He's got to call. He's got to strengthen his play calling and his game management. He's got to strengthen that area. Whether it be Darnold
and knowing when to run the football too, especially with a
yes, he's got to run the football. And if you don't want to run the football because of who you've got on your offensive line, make some changes. You're the head coach.
If you have JJ McCarthy back there and you're trying to take some pressure off of him, running the ball should be a priority. You have Aaron Jones now, so you should really take that into consideration if you're KOC.
Well, running the ball, just fundamental football. Running the ball helps any quarterback, young or old. Just run football. Why he's so against it, I don't know. Could it be he didn't have Cam Akers? It's a possibility. Could it be that the interior of the offensive line wasn't that great at run blocking? That could also be it too. So you've got guard and center, which you've got to upgrade there somehow. Don't know what's going to happen with Reisner. He could still come back. I doubt it, but he could still come back. So it's just, but like I said before, it's all on KOC now.
And what you were saying about the Saints having a dome, their stadium kind of creeps me out though. Because there's no windows. There's no light other than the stadium lights. So basically, if those lights fail, it's darkness. It's all darkness in there.
Oh, there was the power went out during a Super Bowl. I don't know if we're old enough to remember that, but the power went out during a Super Bowl, and there's no lighting. It's just dark. It always looks dark. Always looks dark. And from what I heard, I know this. The Saints wanted a new stadium at one time, but Louisiana wouldn't give it to them. So they're gonna stay at what is it now? What dome is it? It's a Super Dome, but who is
The
it?
Caesars Superdome.
Little Caesars Palace or Little Caesars?
The Caesars Superdome, basically. That's what
Okay,
it is.
Caesars. Yeah,
The casino.
the casino. Yeah,
It's hosting the Super Bowl. The Caesars Superdome is hosting the Super Bowl.
that doesn't surprise me. They've hosted a lot of Super Bowls.
I don't trust that stadium. I'd rather just watch it from home.
Yeah,
I don't trust the.
and after all the nightmare stories I heard about it when Katrina hit, I'm surprised it's still up. But yeah, it's one of my least favorite stadiums. Put it that way. I wouldn't go there. I did go to the
There's
Georgia
something
Dome.
about it. There's something about it where I feel like if I walk in there, it'll feel enclosed on me, and on top of that, no light. So I mean, like no light from the outside. So I feel like I'm trapped in a dark room, just a really big, spacious, dark room, and I don't like that. Like whether it's day
Yeah.
or night, it's always dark in there. Always dark
If
in
you're
that stadium.
if you're claustrophobic in any kind of way, like you don't like being enclosed in at all, that stadium's going to freak you out.
Yeah, I definitely freaked my mom out. She's very claustrophobic.
Yeah, and then not to mention everybody's scrunched in together. There's really no room or nothing. But yeah, it's an outdated stadium. It's really outdated. The Vikings were supposed to play a Super Bowl there, but it wasn't done yet. That's why they played Pittsburgh. Super Bowl 9 was at Tulane Stadium because the Superdome wasn't done yet, but it was supposed to be at the Superdome. So, but
Now obviously the stadium's safe. They tested it out a bunch of times, but I just still don't trust it.
Right. And JD, that turf is bad because it's that turf now. And I played when it first came out. We actually played on it because some college fields here in Minnesota have that type of turf, and this is 20 years ago. At the time, we loved it because it felt like it was natural grass, but once the injuries started, and it was no better than the old school carpet. I tore my Achilles at the Metrodome, which sucked. So playing on that new stuff when I had the chance was okay. This is better, but not by much. Not by much. I figure here's the thing: if you can make grass grow indoors, why don't you put grass in all the stadiums, indoor stadiums? You know, Cardinals.
You can make grass grow indoors?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you don't even have to make it grow. Here's what you do: you can wheel it in. Can wheel it in. That's what the Cardinals do. They wheel it in for game day, but they're also in the desert. So for indoors, for like cold weather, I don't know. You do need water and you do need air. So, no, Anthony, I do not miss the Metrodome. Do not miss it at all. Once I got hurt in there, I wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's you got to think of something for the players though, because now the injuries are starting. Actually, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, there were stories of
it's that turf is no better.
There were
There's
stories
a little bit
of
of give, but not a lot of give. So
yeah, I was hearing lots and lots of stories of back to the Superdome of people doing some really, really bad stuff in there back when it was used as a shelter or whatever
during Katrina
it was.
Yep. Yeah, during Katrina,
a guy jumping off the top seats, and obviously,
well, there was no way to separate the women and children from
those stories. It was kind of like those nightmare stories. I was kind of like, oh, and that place is still open. They should have. If anything, tear it down, move the Saints to build another stadium on the spot.
Well, they played in San Antonio.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did.
And San Antonio showed that they can host an NFL team because they sold out every game.
Yeah, but it won't be the Vikings. So
Yeah.
for years there was, Red McCombs wanted to move the team down to Texas, and Jerry Jones is not going to let that happen. That cuts into his.
Not with Red McCombs as the owner. Maybe
No.
somebody else was. But.
It's just you can't. It's when it comes to the NFL, it's all about the money. And for the owners, you're not going to put a team in there that's going to mess with somebody's money.
Yeah, and then it's funny because all the cities where the refugees from New Orleans went, the crime went up everywhere. Like they went to Houston, and the crime went up to Houston like 12%. And then they also went to like Memphis. The crime went up there.
Oh, Memphis was off the chain.
Right. Well, Memphis is one of the highest crime rate cities now because of all the people from. I mean, Memphis was always bad, but it got even worse after Katrina when people from New Orleans went there.
Yeah, I mean it's
because they only fixed the good parts in New Orleans. They didn't fix like the Ninth Ward. They didn't fix the really high crime areas. New Orleans is like, we ain't fixing that. We want you people out here.
My best friend, he still has family in New Orleans.
Yeah.
They did not fix his family's neighborhood. It's still bad. But they fixed downtown. They fixed the tourist places.
Yeah.
And the places that were going to be on TV. But for the rest of it, outside of the French Quarter, they didn't do anything. It's still bad. It's still bad.
Yeah, well, wife and I would go to New Orleans.
Oh, there's a debate on Twitter. Oh.
There's a debate on Twitter?
Yeah, there's a debate on Twitter going on saying who's the better quarterback all time, Big Ben or Aaron Rodgers?
Neither.
If we're talking about those two.
If it's those two, I'm going to go Rodgers. As much as it pains me, I'm going to go Rodgers.
The NFL completely robbed us of him playing in US Bank Stadium.
Oh, who? Rodgers?
I'm saying we should have played him in US Bank Stadium. Like he should have come to US Bank Stadium instead of London.
Well, the Jets game is kind of like the 17th game because we're playing the AFC South. And so they were that throw-in game, as they call it. And yeah, so I think that weren't the Jets just over in London, like not too long ago.
Oh, the Vikings weren't.
We were just there like 2 years ago.
The Vikings have never lost in London too.
Nope, never lost in London. They've never lost an overseas game.
Are you getting up for that one, JJ?
London loves us. London absolutely loves us.
What's that, JJ? What'd you say, JJ?
London loves us. London definitely loves the Vikings.
Yeah,
I think the Vikings are a top 4 or 5 team as far as fans in Europe.
Yep.
That includes Germany. Yeah.
Germany, of course. You got Denmark, you got Sweden, you got Norway.
Well, anywhere there was a European football team, those fans are used to American football.
Wasn't it a Scandinavian or some that invented the skull chant?
Iceland soccer team.
Yeah.
They gave us permission to use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's my girl was over there. She used to take cruises over there. She went to London the year we played over there in 2013. And she said the Viking fans were it was deep with Viking fans. Tons of purple and gold. Tons of Viking jerseys. There was a lot of Steeler fans there too, but the Viking fans outnumbered them.
Well, the Viking fans are definitely outnumber the Jets fans.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings are going to be, with the road games the Vikings have this year, they'll be surprised if there's more purple than the home team. Like the Thursday night game against the Rams, there's probably more Vikings fans there.
Oh, it's going to be. There's so many transplants.
Yeah, the London game definitely more Vikings fans.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, um, I would
It's
because the
Southern
Jacksonville's are so
California that
deep.
always has Vikings fans. Like when they played the Chargers,
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of Viking fans moved to that area.
it's always like Southern California.
Yep.
Well, wasn't it almost? It was almost pretty much 50-50 with the Raiders game last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then the year we played the Chargers in that soccer stadium, it was mostly Viking fans.
It was the Vikings home game.
It was a Vikings home game.
Yeah. They did same thing in Arizona. There's more
And
purple than red.
that was a Viking home game too.
Yeah. So
It's like we travel, and Viking fans travel. They do. They
I
travel.
will
well.
say the only time there was not more Vikings fans was when I went to the Cowboy game. But it was awesome walking out of that monstrosity of a stadium and having all the Vikings fans every time we saw someone go, "Hey, let's go." You could just see the Cowboy fans like rolling their eyes.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, if you're a Cowboys fan, buckle up for a long year. It's gonna be a long year for them.
They always say they're going to go to Super Bowl.
Well,
I heard Purple FTW say for all the Packers and Eagles fans going to the game overseas, close the border after they leave.
that's what I heard. I heard him say that. It's
Purple
like all
FTW
those
said
going
that.
to the Brazil game, close the border. I heard him say that. I actually agreed with him. Close the border. Once you get them all over there, just leave them over there. Yeah, because they got that Friday night game in
I was
Brazil.
going to ask Steve about that, but he's gone.
Huh?
I was going to ask Steve about that, but he's gone. What he thought about the Packers playing in Brazil.
My whole thing is, if you're the NFL, why can't you play some games in the States, play in a city that doesn't have an NFL team? Gauge it for NFL interest. Why do you have to
I
go?
wonder if it has something
Yeah.
to do with TV rights or something like that.
I think it's got more to do with gambling than anything.
I mean,
I might just
why
make a
not-
Twitter post asking the NFL to do that and give you
why
credit
not-
for it.
Why
Uncle
not
Tony.
have?
Thanks,
Why
JJ.
Why not have Dallas and Houston play in San Antonio?
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
'Cause
Have
the Brahmins are averaging like 13,000 fans a game.
I would do this. Have the Cardinals or the Rams play a game in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You know, it's play a game in Portland. You know, there's cities you could play in Portland, you could play in I'm thinking of some southern states, Birmingham. Play a game in Birmingham. Maybe
Yeah.
play a game in like Biloxi or something.
Oklahoma City.
Right. Oklahoma City. I mean,
You know. No, it doesn't have to be a regular season game. Do a preseason game.
yeah. Well,
Do you ever used to play preseason games in Tokyo?
yeah, and that ran out. They used to years ago. Here's a little history for JJ. Years ago, the NFL used to play games in cities that didn't have football. I mean, they played in St. Petersburg, in Oklahoma, and in Phoenix, which those teams usually got a football team, but
Yeah.
that was preseason. But they played in places that were neutral sites. That was in preseason.
The Vikings played in Japan, what, twice?
They played in Germany, beat the Bills. They played in Japan, beat the Chiefs. They played in Sweden, beat the Bears. They played the first game in England in '83, and they beat the Cardinals. Did we play twice in Japan?
I mean, next thing you know, there's going to be a game in South Korea. You know, they're going to have a game.
Goodell wants to make it global, but that also means more money. He's sold out the Shield. He has sold it out, and
I thought South Korea wasn't safe to travel to right now.
It's not.
No,
But
I said eventually there's going to be a.
If it ever gets, probably they'll play where it's safe. I think the next place they'll probably go is
Well, maybe they'll play in Kansas City, Kansas to gauge fan interest for the Chiefs moving.
oh yeah, they got to gauge that because the Chiefs are looking at moving.
Kansas City, Kansas. I don't want to play with Dorothy and Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it's
Oh, Missouri ain't much better.
yeah, it's not really. It really isn't. So they're looking, and they've talked about an indoor stadium too.
Right. And they played a couple games in Detroit. Not Detroit, but Toronto.
Toronto, yeah. Although I don't think Canada will let the NFL up there now because they're kind of competing. They're not, unless the NFL expands to Canada, which never say never.
Mary has a question for you, JJ.
Oh,
Unfortunately, not.
How many more days you got?
21. Yeah, 21 more days.
Okay.
So what grade are you in now? Are you 8th grade or?
I'm in 8th grade, going into 9th.
I tell you that your senior year of high school, man. Try not to get senioritis. It happens to the best of us.
Oh, I got it. It cost me.
Yeah. My GPA dropped like 0.3, because I got majors. I barely went to school.
I wasn't in school enough to get a GPA when I was a senior.
Yeah.
Every day was, they used to have like that senior ditch day. That was like every day for me when I was a senior.
Yeah.
Once football season was over, I was done with school.
I love the fact that they're. I love the fact that they're putting more star corners up against Justin Jefferson this season. I'm seeing a lot of that. But if Jair Alexander hits the gritty one more time, I hope a fan just runs out of the stands with a hammer and just breaks both of his kneecaps.
Well, you can't understand what he says anyway.
Oh, mushmouth, as I call it?
Honestly.
My God, yeah, mushmouth.
So, JJ, who are your top 5 rock bands? You listen to rock?
Rock bands.
Yeah, that's another form of music other than rap.
JJ doesn't seem like JJ doesn't seem
I don't
like
listen to rap. Okay, just because I was born in the 21st century and I'm a teen doesn't mean I listen to rap.
That's all they play nowadays is rap.
Yeah, you don't seem like a person who just like rap. Yeah, that's I Madden soundtrack is god awful.
I like
this is rap.
The Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Beatles, I always liked them because they sang the song that had my middle name in it, Hey Jude.
Oh, that's your middle name, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
God, it's amazing. The Beatles span generations. Wow.
No, you're right, JDT. No one can handle Justin Jefferson one-on-one.
No, it's
Packer fans like to say that he covered him one-on-one, but he had safety coverage. He had safety over the top the whole
well
game.
with the Packers now. It's with every team now. It's going to be pick your poison because you're going to have, if you're going to double JJ, you're going to leave single coverage on Addison.
Yeah.
So, and depending on who our third receiver is it going to be? It's going to be Sherfield, right?
As of right now, but there is reports about them beating Hunter Renfrow. So.
Are they in the market? They're not looking for another receiver, are they?
There's serious talks about them signing Hunter.
Oh, Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah. The last I heard, there's 2 teams that are interested in signing Hunter Renfrow, and the Vikings are one of them.
Wow.
So
then if you sign Renfrow, you got Renfrow.
All right, JJ. Hey,
Have
we
a
do
good
this
one,
every
man.
other Friday.
Every other Friday we're on. So
Yeah,
feel
thanks
free
for
to come
having
on.
me on.
You got it.
Anytime.
Take care, young man.
No, thank you for joining our show. You're the big timer here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Later. I don't know where
see you later.
Sarah's at tonight.
Yep.
Later.
So I mean, if Sherfield, you got Sherfield, and if they get Renfro, so then you got Renfro, Sherfield. You still got Powell, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of wide receivers.
I think if they sign Hunter Renfro, they'll get rid of somebody.
Yeah, but who? You
But
trade
yeah.
Brandon Powell. You got Sherfield signed. You could trade him. You don't have any draft choices now. Get something for him.
Yeah.
You know, that's a crowded wide receiver room, though.
Better to have a crowded one than not have any.
Yeah, there's certain. We weren't a deep wide receiver room to now we're starting to see the effects of having some money to play with, and so it's going to be like we can fill some holes. We just got to work on the interior of the lines.
Yeah. So. What he got? So let's talk about this real quick. As soon as it loads.
Is it more negative press about the purple?
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
I gotta say, that is one of the best logos I've seen.
You know, the uniforms weren't bad.
Yeah.
They weren't bad. I got a friend of mine who is their guy I went to high school with. He's their defensive coordinator. He stuck with it till the end. But the league was in financial ruins from the start. They were in financial ruins. The players never got paid. They made the trip to the road game, and then they were told to come back. So
you could tell how the website has not been touched because they're talking about
now
here's ceased operations. They played 2 games and that was it.
Right. Now here's the weird thing. Diana Hutton, her husband was a commissioner of the league.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was the team owner. So that was a problem.
Now, this is not the league that Yogi's in, guys.
No, this is the other league.
Yeah.
This is the main league. These guys, this is the league. This league folded. Right now, Jeff Fisher is the commissioner, and there's the guy I played high school ball with, Jeff Lutz. That's who I played high school ball with.
Okay.
And Jeff Fisher is now the commissioner of the league. And half the teams are gone.
Like the old Rams coach?
Huh? Yeah, Jeff Fisher, yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Yeah, Ricky Foggy resigned. It was doomed from the start. You're probably gonna have some legal action against the Huttons.
Yeah, because
JD Fisher is the commissioner of the Arena Football League. He's still involved in the game. I was shocked by that too. But yeah, he's still around. Still around. Gotta remember when that guy played football. But yeah, that league, they had 12 teams. I think they're down to like 4 now. Maybe fewer than that. So we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, they didn't. They played
were they the only team that ceased operations, right? Or did a couple others?
No, there's other ones. A couple of others that ceased operations. Well, none of the players got paid. A couple of teams, none of the players got played. Now, this is Yogi's league. This is Yogi's team.
Yeah. It's in its infant stages.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But they also have a pretty good logo.
Yeah.
As well. So, yeah. So this is a different league. The Dallas Falcons is the first game. Yeah. I am not sure how many teams are in this league. I know there's not a lot.
4 or 6? 6 maybe?
Okay, so it looks like you got the Dallas Falcons, the Goats, the Lunkers, and the Woo. So that's 6 teams.
6 teams.
But you know what though? That may not be a bad thing because sometimes you have to start small.
You do. Yeah, and then I mean the AFL started out with like 12 or 14. It's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot. And then you avoid all the BS, political BS.
The Falcon fans are going to be happy until it's 4th and 11 and Kirk Cousins.
Oh. I'm prepared to hear about those meltdowns that I complained about. Now I have to be on the receiving end of those meltdowns.
Right, JDT. I understand what you're saying, and I actually agree with your comment. But the issue that people have with it is that you have JJ, just throw it up to JJ, and now that's why people are complaining about it. He was literally had no time to throw. And Hawkinson, he said he saw a purple jersey, he threw it. That's what he said. Did he throw it to the left down the field for JJ? I don't know. I've never played quarterback in the NFL, but that's the issue that people have with it is that they don't look at the whole play; they just look at the result of the play.
Well, even
if TJ Hawkinson breaks a tackle and gets the first down, ain't nobody talking about it anyway. It was just everything went wrong on that play. Is what happened. Bad play call, bad protection, bad throw. It did not break a tackle. So that's pretty much what happened on that play.
Well, here's another thing too. Now that you think about it, if you throw it up there for JJ, at least let him have an attempt to go at it.
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough, if the ref sees it and they're always quick to call it, pass interference.
Yeah.
Pass interference. But
I mean, you never. Are they going to call it because it's a playoff game? Who knows? But if you don't take the chance, you don't know.
Take the chance. Yeah, you got nothing to lose. If you don't make it, you go home.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, it's kind of the Kirk Cousins narrative. It really is. He just wasn't, when it came to big play moments, he was not good at it. He just wasn't.
Yeah, it was even Kevin O'Connell said it was a bad play call.
And that's on O'Connell. And lucky enough, O'Connell got lucky winning those 13 games his first year, and it probably covered up a lot of bad calls that he made. When we lost, we lost badly.
Oh yeah, when they lost that year, they lost big.
When they lost big.
It's kind of like the Timberwolves in the series that they're playing against the Nuggets. When they win big.
Yeah. Yeah, and just it covered up, the wins covered up a lot, but last year showed that he still has some work to do on his play calling, put it that way. He still has some work to do. That's why I said this year is very important to the Vikings, but it's more important to KOC and Kwesi. I mean, this is now their team. These are the players that they put out there, and
Was
it's
it Harrison Smith, the 2 tackles?
yeah,
That's pretty much what's all
pretty
that's
much
left in
what's
this building.
left.
Yeah,
And they've got this is now this is their baby. They've got to be successful. If KLC isn't, I mean, he's got one more year, but he's going to be on the hot seat.
here's a question: Does Spielman trade for Chaos? Does Spielman trade for Hawkinson within the division?
Oh, does he make that? No. He also doesn't trade down.
And the Vikings are looking Vikings are probably still looking for a tight end.
Yeah.
And would he have traded up to get JJ, or would he have traded down?
He would have traded down.
He would have re-signed Cousins. Let's be honest. He would have given Cousins.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been in a JJ hunt because he would have re-signed Cousins.
Yeah.
So Cousins would still have the game.
So did Rick Spielman have a good run as a GM?
Yeah.
Other than not getting a franchise quarterback, I think he did pretty damn well.
He did very well, especially in the draft.
Yeah.
In the early part of Zimmer's years, that was the draft is what built that team for Zimmer.
Yeah.
You didn't and the great what if is Teddy Bridgewater. We don't know.
We don't know.
But
and after Tony told me how he got hurt, it's even shittier.
Yeah. I was told, and I was like, good Lord. And then it made sense when he told me.
Yeah.
When he told me everything, I'm like, Jesus, my God.
We don't have permission to let that out. That's why we're not talking.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Teddy stays healthy. We definitely don't get Bradford. And Cousins is not here.
We don't lose that first round pick. Cousins is not here. He's probably in San Francisco. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's so many what ifs that hard to say. I mean, we knocked Spielman at the end for all the third round picks that didn't pan out, and the fact that Kirk didn't work out. And let's face it, Kirk was brought up here to win a Super Bowl. So we get on
that aspect, it was a failure.
Right. So we get on him about that, but I mean, he wasn't bad. He really wasn't. And then most GMs and coaches, they have that string where they're really good. Then towards the end, something doesn't work and it falls apart. It happens with everybody. Very few go out on top.
Look at Belichick.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's another.
Like Andy Reid's probably to go out on top. He's probably going to know when it's time for him to go. He's probably going to leave after winning another Super Bowl.
Yeah. George, the Vikings has 71. 71 sacks. They were one off the record.
Come on, George. Tony and I don't Google.
And what the hell is Google?
We've proven Google wrong before.
Google? Yeah, like I really use Google. And the Vikings, 71 of those sacks, I want to say 60 or 61 were by the defensive line. Somewhere around there. But, I mean, Dolman had, what, 20? 21? Dolman had 21.
Yeah, that was the...
Millard had 18. Right? Yeah. Millard had 18. Al Noga had 11 and a half. And I think Hank Thomas had 8 or 9. He almost had double-digit sacks. Hell, even Ken Clark had 3. So if you add up all those sacks, that's 39 from Dolman and Millard. So The record is 70. We missed the record by one. The record was, and maybe still is, the Bears had 72 sacks in 84. And prior to that, the record was 66 by the Raiders in 67 or 68. What team has more than the Vikings?
What, 89?
In 80, well, the Bears had 72 and 84. That's the record. Up until then, did somebody break that record recently? I don't think so. I don't know if anybody's even came close.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that, to be honest with you. I mean, there's also something else that happened in '89 as well.
Oh, we're not talking about the Herschel Walker trade.
No, this is a good one. This is a good thing.
Yeah, that was that Bears defense that Buddy Ryan put together. Yep.
I don't know if the sound's going to work, but
Is that Ramsey?
yeah. Let's see. Can you guys hear that or no?
I can't hear it.
I don't know why.
Oh, the first overtime safety. Yeah,
Yeah,
the block.
this is when they carry him off the field, right?
That's the field I got hurt on. Yeah, and he almost recovered it, and then he lost it. And yep, 2 points.
Can you guys hear it now?
I hear it a little bit, yeah. Now keep in mind the Vikings traded a first-round draft choice that year to the Steelers for the rights to Mike Merriweather. We didn't have a first rounder that year. We traded it to the Steelers.
All I know is the guy on the other team. I don't know all the rules. What's funny about this punt block is that it was almost by accident. The Vikings set up a punt return play, but the outside guys were free blitzers. Even the Rams were surprised by how the game ended. The punter Dale Hatcher was saying that the coaching staff told him that he didn't think the Vikings would come after him. Turns out, the coaching staff thought wrong. Merriweather blocked the punt, thought he lost the game, only to find out that he won. This play turned out to be huge for the Vikings. They won the NFC Central and made the postseason over the Green Bay Packers on a tiebreaker. Without the win here, they missed the playoffs. As for the Rams, they still wound up making it, although it came off of a big blunder by the Patriots on the final day of the season. The story on that is in the upper right corner. And yes, we've seen players not know the rules of the game before, just as Donovan McNabb has thoughts about games ending in tie.
Games used to end in ties all the time. Even overtime games.
Well, that was an interesting story because sorry, that's my screensaver. That was an interesting story because I heard about Mike Mayweather thinking he cost them the game. So
yeah, he did. That was also the game where Burnsy went off.
Yeah.
Actually, George, I just found out that I had a nephew that played in the NFL. I just found it out. And it's recently too. It was his name is Jason Bell. He won the Super Bowl, I believe, with the Giants. And he played with the Texans. But yeah, he is my nephew. I just found that out. So, but yeah, he's the only one I've had. My family's all been football fans.
I had an old NFL book. And my last name is not popular. Like it's very rare that someone has my last name. There was a picture of a Packer game, and there was actually, Tony, you might remember this. There was a quarterback who played for Minnesota who had my last name, early 2000s, Lewick. He
In
was
the early 2000s?
he was I think it was just somewhere in the 2000s. He was, but I looked at and they all live in Wisconsin, and there was a Packer had the same last name as me who played in the NFL because there's a picture of him in an NFL book that I have, a black and white photo of a guard playing for the Packers with my same last name. But they got to be related because if you have my last name, we're related, whether it's second, third, fourth cousins. Like there's no branching off of my family. Like if you have my last name, you have my last name. Because like we're all from the same family, the
Same family.
Yeah.
Spelled the same?
Spelled the same.
It was a Packer?
Yeah.
Is your last name Dilweg?
No.
Makowski?
No. It's Lewick. Lueck.
Luck?
No, it's Lewick. Lueck.
What is it again?
Lueck.
Luke.
Oh, it's Lewick.
Lewick?
No one gets it right. It's 5 letters. Nobody gets it right.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? He wasn't a quarterback. He played guard.
Or no, this guy was a quarterback, but there was a guard for the Packers. Yes, the guy who played for the University of Minnesota was a backup quarterback. I got to unplug my headset for you guys to hear it.
And Merriweather just made a great play. Picked the guy on the outside, stepped inside him, and made the block. It was a hell of a game. I mean, shit. For $23, you can get more excitement than that. Hell, you're in the wrong operation. Hell of a game. And I'm gonna say something. As long as I'm in this fucking job, Snooker will be the offensive coach. I mean, no question fucking about that. No fucking question about that. I don't like to name names after a fucking game, but we can't be responsible for the blocking. We can't be responsible for the fucking guys jumping offside. We can't be responsible for we get down there and it was a dumb play by Anderson. I love Anderson, but it was a dumb fucking play when his foot was shoe was coming up the line. We were hard to take time out. We had a fucking trap play called, and his fucking shoe comes off. That ain't Bob Snooker's fault. We have another fucking trap play, and if Vinny picks up his fucking feet, he walks in. We got the fucking pass to AC out there in the flat. And the ball's thrown in low. That isn't Snooker's fault. We got right down there. We got the second down, and I don't know what the hell. 2 yards ago, I don't know what, 15, 40, whatever the hell it was, and Irwin jumps offside. So these are the things that have been hurting us all along. The little things. We're working at them to stop them. We moved the ball good today. We went down there and we didn't get the ball in the end zone. I think we did, yeah. Anything else?
Well, just Carlos, you had a key problem in the past.
No, we'll stir one up. We'll stir one up here before it's done. He did a sensational fucking job.
I didn't realize he had so many F-bombs.
Field goals. He can win a game.
They won
many
too.
ways,
That's the
many
scariest
ways.
thing.
DJ, I was happy when they kicked the goddamn ball to him. Last week on the Giants, Crazy ran 65 yards. This time he fumbles the ball. What the hell can you do? But you can't. All you do is you prepare as thoroughly as you can. The guys play their asses off. Sure to help us. Sure, I talked to John afterwards. I thought it was a tough one for him to lose. It's a big win. Big win. That was a hell of a great catch by Hassan. The guys didn't give up. A great catch by Hassan. A great field goal by Carlos.
Exactly the same play.
Exactly the same one. He almost had the ball the previous one. And he went up and by great effort he got the ball.
You would never get this from a head coach
He
today.
had a groin pull on that
Ever.
pass and a quick over there that he caught and he sort of went down and he had the splits.
And we won this game.
Yeah.
Squadron left, squadron right, whichever way the squadron lines up, squadron fly. That was a squadron left, squadron fly. They were going down there. What you're looking for is exactly what happened. That, the tip ball, maybe a penalty, some damn thing. Some damn thing. That same pass. This game reminds me of a Cleveland Brown game when we went down to the old Met Center. When we throw the ball century, he lateral the ball to Teddy Brown. Teddy Brown ran out of bounds. Made a great play. The next one we hit Ahmad on the squadron right. Put it in one the.
Now you notice he called him Ahmad. Bud Grant called him Ahmad.
Fullback stays in, three wide receivers. The job is run down there and hopefully they get a tip ball, pass interference, a great play, something.
Which Kirk should have done in the Giants.
Should have did.
The guy feel like shit afterwards. What? yeah. He felt like shit afterwards. Everybody booing the shit out of him, but he worked his ass off.
Oh.
And no smarter coordinator in football.
Oh, by the way, a year later he was fired.
Fuckers, boo him.
Fuck this.
You do realize that Bernsey had already had a couple of shots because Bernsey was an alcoholic. He was quite the drinker. They tell the story, Bernsey, when Tommy Kramer went into rehab in California, the Viking coaches went out there to see him. Bud and the coaches, Burns didn't go. And they get back from the rehab, and the story is Bud calls them, and Bud's like, "Why didn't you go with us? Because Tommy really wanted to see you." And Burns was like, "Well, I was worried that if I did go, you guys would leave me there." That's how much he drank. He was an alcoholic.
Could you imagine him after a loss?
I think he was more sedate after a loss than he was after that win.
Everybody's drinking Gatorade. He hitting the jack.
his Gatorade was mixed. Well, and then
a little bit of Gatorade, a little bit of Grey Goose, a little bit of Gatorade.
Well, and then also too, what a lot of people don't realize at that time, Bob Schnelker did not get along with Wade Wilson.
JJ, I didn't know you were still in here. Sorry.
Oh, Schnelker didn't get along with Wade Wilson at all, and Wilson was a starting quarterback. But yeah, that's classic. Yeah, it's typical Jerry Burns. Typical.
Yeah, and like I said, that made it even better because the game was awesome, and that made it even better.
Oh, I remember that game. Offensively, we didn't do anything.
This was pre-Walker, right?
No, Walker had been with the team for 4 games.
Okay.
He had been with the team 4 games. I think they had just lost to the Giants on Monday night. And they went played the Rams were like one of the top teams in the league. But offensively, they didn't do nothing. Only points they got were the safety and 7 field goals by Rich Carlos.
Yeah. Well, as he said, Rich Carlos went fucking down there and kicked every fucking kick we asked him to fucking
Yeah. You scored 21 points from the barefooted kicker.
Yep.
He hit a 45-yarder too. So
I don't know how you kick barefoot. That's gotta hurt.
He did it though. He did it. And I know where he's talking because we had like a 3rd and goal down at the goal line, and Alfred Anderson loses his shoe. He gets the handoff, and then he loses his shoe. Just comes right off. he comes right out of his shoe. And we had to settle for a field goal there. And then Rick Fenny did the same thing. He went into the middle of the line. He didn't. He just kind of half-assed, kind of like tiptoed. And it was a frustrating game offensively.
Oh, Wade Wilson was frustrating.
Defensively, we only got one sack. That's where the Vikings were like killing the league that year in sacks. They only got one sack of Jim Everett. So it was one of those nail biter games. But it took a Hail Mary pass to get them in field goal range. And then Carlos kicked the overtime field goal. So yeah, that's classic. So I mean, and put it this way, I mean, and they talk about Denny's, but Denny went off with the Cardinals. He never went off like that with the Vikings. Never.
Sorry, my dogs are fighting over who sits next to me on the couch.
That's classic.
We went from the stoic Bud Grant to Steckel. I don't think he ever had anything worth anything in the press conference. To Jerry Burns.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it was Green after Burns, correct?
Yeah.
And then Dennis Green said stuff in press conferences, but like you said, it was the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, he didn't go off.
He did that bear ramp.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike Tice was a 2 on us. Mike Tice told you anything you wanted to hear.
Mike was kind of a dope.
And then Mr. Drive, right?
Can we just gloss over Childress? I don't even think he knew what the hell he was talking about half the time.
And then Leslie Frazier really didn't say anything in press conferences. So
the only thing I remember with Frazier is him always telling us week after week, Christian Ponder gives us the best chance to win. And I'm like,
he did.
That's
the sad part.
Well, you know what I said to that? I'm like, okay, that's nice. Now, could you please get Rick Spielman to remove his hand from your ass so you can talk on your own?
That was true though. Ponder was the best quarterback that team had. If he doesn't get hurt, they probably beat the Packers in the playoffs.
That's true. Which doesn't do much for us.
He had one great year. So yeah, I'm going to give it to him for that 1 year that he had.
And that was mostly AP.
So
yeah, that was mostly AP. But I mean, and then we get Zimmer. And Zimmer didn't start going off until we got Kirk.
Well, he didn't like Keenum either.
Yeah, but his whole
he kept wanting to replace Keenum because if you listen to the press conferences, he's like,
yeah,
he's our quarterback for now.
It killed him to say anything positive or anything good about Case Keenum. It killed him. And then when we got Kirk, he really struggled to find things to say about him. But see, when he got Kirk, he let that defense go to hell. He didn't do anything to revamp his defense. So then now he's gone, and then you get, I mean, in KOC, he's Mr. Nice Guy too. He's not going to say anything negative. I mean, he said the most negative he said was last year about the crowd when we lost to the Chargers, him and Kirk both. But he's going to be real selective as to what he says. So, but yeah, Burnsy is from an era that usually the coaches, they said what they wore their emotions on their sleeves.
So I wonder if Bob Sweet's still here because I got this right here.
Are you bringing up 75?
Because look at the title. He admits to push off.
Sort of.
Well,
He
because
already
they
admitted
said
that.
because they said Roger wanted when he wanted receiver Golden Richards, and then he says, so there was an inadvertent push. First of all, it wasn't inadvertent, but he said it with a laugh, so you know it was not inadvertent.
That ain't inadvertent. Pushed him on
He said,
purpose.
"Is there contract?" Of course, there was contract. We're playing football, we're not playing golf or tennis. So I just wanted to put that little Bob Swede talking about he fell down to rest.
He brings that up every week. I ignore him.
So there's that. So
Yeah, I mean,
that just more painful.
You're not going to, and here's the thing, you're not going to have those coaches now be the way they were back then.
Well, the NFL's too controlled now for that.
Right. These guys are going, it's so, what do you say, cookie cutter?
Well, look at they want to crucify the kicker for the Chiefs for saying don't be afraid to be a man. I mean, do you think they're going to say stuff like Jerry Burns just said? I don't think so.
You know what? And I when he said that, I'm kind of looking at him like, really, dude? Okay.
But no, I'm just saying, it's just, there's nothing wrong with it. It's his opinion.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm looking at
but why is he? But that's what I'm saying. That's why you'll never see another coach do what Jerry Burns did.
Right. And here's another thing. When do these kickers get to be such damn loudmouths? Thanks a lot, Pat McAfee.
Well, I mean, Bucker did win the Super Bowl, so I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, put it this way: he looks like a kicker. He don't look like the most massive.
Well, our kicker looks like a kicker.
Which one? The guy we just drafted?
The guy we just drafted, yeah.
Yeah, he does. He really does. Well, put it this way: is if he can win some games for us this year,
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see that new kickoff rule. Really interested.
Well, I saw it live in person because I've been to a couple of Brahman games this year. It's pretty interesting.
Well, we're using last year's model though.
It's the same thing in the XFL. It really didn't change anything.
I mean, it's an XFL rule,
right?
But I mean, the UFL they're kicking from the 25.
I don't understand that question, George.
Who's going to drive?
Because we're going to be too busy punching.
Yeah.
Oh, JJ drive. I don't care if he's not able to drive yet. I read it wrong the first time. After reading it the second time, I got it.
Yeah, I saw that picture with the draft choices. The kicker looked kind of out of place. He looked like literally a man among boys.
Yeah.
The haircut didn't help either.
I don't know. So do we get paid $50K or do we have to give $50K? Because I think Tony's going to have a hard time finding that next seat. Well, I don't know. He might have it in the seat cushions.
Oh, I'll get it.
Couch.
I can get it.
He has it in his couch.
Yeah, I can get it. I got it buried away somewhere.
Next to the bodies.
Yep. Exactly.
I don't care. See, here's the thing. I don't care if you want to have a new kicker. I don't care if you think kickers can win you games. But when you only have 6 picks, you shouldn't.
Don't waste it on a kicker. Don't waste it on a kicker.
Especially, he may be the greatest kicker in Vikings history. We don't know, but you still don't waste a draft pick.
And you still had, I tuned into the draft with you when they started picking.
Yeah.
They still had positions that needed, mainly offensive line and defensive line, that they could have drafted. And there were still some good players there. They passed on them.
So that's going to be in a couple of years, that's going to be, was he worth taking? Because the Raiders took Janikowski in the first round. Well, he had a great career. He still wasn't worth the first round pick.
Here's the thing. It seems like, with most people, the old adage is you build the team on the line. And it's almost like the Vikings are doing the complete opposite. They're
Inside
building
out.
the team on the other positions and forgetting about the line.
Yeah.
It's like they're building, they're building a fantasy football team, not a real football team. Because right now, our line is, if you're at the line of scrimmage for the Vikings, it's weak. It's one of the weakest spots on the team.
Yeah.
And that could be a problem. That could be a big problem, especially on the inside.
Well, that's when Steve was on earlier. He said that the cornerbacks are the weakest part of the defense. The interior line, until they can show,
Yeah.
I think that's the weakest.
Yeah. I mean, if you're cornerbacks, put it this way, you're playing most offenses now is such a pass-oriented league. The only way to really disrupt the passing game is to get pressure up front. You've got to get pressure up front.
Right.
If you get an offense that contains the edges, if you don't have no inside presence to push that pocket, the quarterback is still going to have success. He's still going to have success. So, I mean, they've got to work on that. And play action could be the doomsday for this defense, too. It could be. We'll see, but
we'll see how they react if they don't. Because I know the defense is going to be aggressive.
Right, which the first week of the year against the Giants probably works because it's Daniel Jones.
Right, but who was the team? I think it was the Bears game, wasn't it, where we lost? Where they threw nothing but a lot of screen passes to stop from the pressure.
Yeah, and Fields would run.
Yeah,
Fields would run. Your first 3 games, you're playing Daniel Jones, no problem. Then you got Brock Purdy,
yep.
But he's also got weapons. And then C.J. Stroud is going to be the what you call it.
Does he have a sophomore slump though?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I mean, he could.
The
one thing I don't get is why is it always when they talk about other, like when the national media, they talk about other teams, like for the Bears, always the best case scenario. They're not even thinking about the Bears having a bad season. But then when you look at the Minnesota thing, it's always the worst case scenario.
It's still the fact that it's Minnesota, it's flyover country, and now we don't have Kirk Cousins, so now we're going to be terrible.
But here's the thing, though. Kirk Cousins got incessantly trashed. He's not a winner. He can't win in primetime. The Vikings could never win with him. Now that he's gone, he's the greatest quarterback to ever live.
He's the greatest quarterback on the face of the earth. He's a savior for the Atlanta Falcons. That's the media hypocrisy.
Yeah.
So, that's the media hypocrisy. Put it this way, Atlanta, even when they had Matt Ryan and were good, have never got the publicity they're getting now that back then like they're getting now. And Kirk Cousins hasn't even taken a snap with the team. It's just all of a sudden it's like Kirk Cousins makes the Falcons Super Bowl contenders. How?
His weapons aren't as good.
Who's he going to throw to? He's got Drake London, Kyle Pitts. All of a sudden, these guys are going to be good. He's got Bijan Robinson. That's nice. They have no defense.
And instead of taking Dallas Turner, they took Penix.
Yeah, they took Penix, which I can tell you something right there. That is whoever the GM is and the head coach, Penix is their pick.
Yeah, I heard that they had to convince Arthur Blank.
Arthur Blank wanted Cousins.
to take Penix.
Yeah, Arthur Blank wanted Cousins because Arthur Blank wants to get back to the Super Bowl. So he's the one to put it out there. You whatever Kirk wants, you give it to him within reason. I don't even think they said within reason because he
I
got
don't think it was. I don't think it was with a reason. You can't
No.
give a 36-year-old quarterback that much money.
because they give him $100 million guaranteed.
Yep.
So and right here now you got Raheem Morris. Now put it this way: if it doesn't work out with this general manager, Raheem Morris's, guess whose job is gone? Guess who's out of a job? Raheem Morris and the GM. It's like
Well, because the owner is not going to stop owning.
no, and he's desperate to get back to the Super Bowl. He's very desperate.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get back there you're not going to get anywhere close with Kirk. I'm just being honest. Just being honest. Well, anybody that lives in Minnesota knows that.
But it's like even the Timberwolves, even with how good they are, they still kind of don't get talked about in the NBA.
Because Minnesota's not a big market.
Right. And then the Twins they're playing,
Well, we've lost 4 in a row, so.
Right. But what I'm saying, though, is nobody expected, it's like anytime they play a team like the Yankees, well, for some reason they can't beat the Yankees. But they can beat they beat other big market teams. It just seems like, the only Minnesota team that gets treated well is the Wild because it's hockey.
It's hockey, and nobody pays attention to hockey.
So,
but see, because hockey is a cold weather sport, so they figure most Minnesotans, as soon as they're able to walk, they got a pair of skates on their feet and they're skating.
Well, it's pretty much true, though, isn't it?
It used to be.
I mean, football is still the main sport, I think, that kids play, but then hockey is definitely. Actually, you know what? Hockey might get played more in Minnesota than football.
Hockey gets played more. Well, actually, most kids that play football also play hockey or basketball. It depends. It depends on what part of the state you live in. Literally.
If you notice, most of your good baseball players come from tropical states, like tropical countries like Cuba, Dominican Republic, the southern United States.
They play baseball year round.
Right, in southern United States.
Yeah. They play baseball year round. So, I mean, Florida's got baseball leagues all year. I think Cali does too. But
hockey is better to watch live than almost any other sport. It does not translate to TV well.
Well, unless you know hockey, it doesn't translate at all.
Right.
But yeah, see, for years, Minneapolis, I'll put it this way, Minneapolis didn't have pro basketball till they got the Wolves in '89. So,
which is why the Hawks are my team.
Right. And that's, so when you don't have that, I mean, there were some great basketball players in the 60s and 70s the Twin Cities never saw. And even part of the 80s until we got the Timberwolves.
JJ, baseball is my second favorite sport. Baseball, out of all the big four, hockey, football, baseball, basketball. Baseball is by far and away the hardest one to play.
My whole thing with baseball is I don't like the pitch clock, and I don't like the extra inning rule where they have a runner a second.
The pitch clock I don't mind so much. I do not like the extra inning rule, and I do not like the fact you can only throw over twice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like it's like there was nothing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. There was nothing wrong with baseball. Maybe it took a while, but you've also got a generation now that they have the attention span of, so for baseball is kind of long for them for a lot in this new generation.
Well, when it comes to hitting a baseball is by far and away. Put it this way: you're considered great great if you're successful 39% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, a pitcher and batter's duel is one of those things in sports that's just its own unique thing.
Yeah.
You know, and here's my thing with the way they're changing, like George says, NHL and NFL are glad they're contact sports.
Yeah.
But the way they're changing football, unfortunately, they're turning football into like two-hand touch. I mean, it's damn near close to flag football. Will it still make money if it gets that way? Yeah, there are going to be people that will still watch it.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's where it's going. The football that me and Ketch and others grew up watching is long gone. Long gone. Especially if you're a defensive player.
Yeah. So we'll just okay. So just to give you guys a reference for you youngers out there. This was considered a highlight video for the NFL. This is what they put out for their highlight video.
You know how much money they made off of these videos?
I mean, this would never happen nowadays. Look at this. Could you imagine that hit today?
That's a flag.
Yeah. And for the helmet taking off, too. That's another flag. But
Yeah, that's a flag.
I mean, look at that.
Oh my goodness gracious, that's a tough hit.
I mean, look at that.
That's a flag.
I mean, you would never be able to do that today. And this is what they put out for highlights. Because I remember watching this as a kid. You wait for
the NFL made money off of this.
Yeah.
They made money off of this. They put out a video called the NFL Crash Course. It was the hardest hits in the league.
I mean, look at that. Was that Mark Kelso? That's Mark Kelso. That dude could hit.
Zeroed in and timed it right out with the ball. Totally defenseless is JoJo.
Oh, that's an ejection.
Oh, he's out of the league right now. That play, he is ejected and fined, and probably suspended a game. It's a bang play though.
Yeah, but it was helmet to helmet.
Not really.
Very fortunate that Irvin Fryer was not severely injured here. He falls right on his head and shoulder, and he almost
Not only that, pretty much falling on concrete.
Yeah.
No one has ever questioned his
Yeah, you are.
I don't know if that'd be a penalty today, though. But
No.
This receiver, yeah, it would be. Oh my God, definitely. Oh, look at the old Oilers uniforms. Look at that, man. Those were the best uniforms, man.
Even the aesthetic,
Opa McDowell, gosh.
they look like football players.
Yeah, look at those shoulder pads.
Yeah, they look like football players. They had the full cages. They had bigger shoulder pads.
Look, Buccaneers old uniforms. Oh, this is where the Saints had the good linebackers. Chris Chandler.
Chris Chandler.
Let's go to his left side here. The number 88 Mark Carrier, but Troy Cook has him covered. Now he's going to run.
Well, that wouldn't be a penalty. That would still weird. Oh, Tupuku, wow.
Greg Lloyd.
Unfortunately, though, that would be considered a penalty today. Took
That
it to the
would?
ground unnecessarily. That Greg Lloyd, though, I remember that.
That's why you're a defensive player nowadays. You can't hit.
Is that Ron Meyer? He's
Yeah.
awesome head coach. Oh, this is gonna be flips, right? No, that wasn't. They must have been talking about the block. They must have been talking about the block on the play.
This is what Cunningham does best. Watch for the great block by Keith Byers on Pepper Johnson. Cunningham goes upfield. Watch it. He'll point. They block him. Bam! Right there.
Keith Byers on Pepper Johnson. Man, I'm getting some names from the past.
That would be a flag.
That'd be a crackback block.
That would be a flag. It shouldn't be, but it would be a flag.
Is that Bernie Kosar? Is that Webster Slaughter? Yep.
Yeah.
Ronnie Lott, Webster Slaughter.
Yeah.
Oh, the Raiders. Yeah, that's definitely a penalty today.
Lionel Washington.
Hello. 6 feet, 185 pounds, not known as a bruising tackler, but picking up a much bigger man, and that is a fumble, but the ball came right back.
Phil Sims. Oh. 58 for the Redskins. Who's that? Yeah,
That's why they wanted. That's why they wanted. They changed the kickoff rules.
Yeah,
that's why. That's why they changed the wedge thing and everything, because they didn't want players getting hit like that.
Yeah.
Look at Montgomery with the helmet. Get that out of here. Megan split wide to the left.
David, make it run. Ostetler. Oh yeah, Ronnie Lott again.
Why would you even throw near Ronnie Lott?
Can you imagine? I mean, that Southern Cal defense with Ronnie Lott and George Honor. I mean, oh God, no one even over the middle against those guys.
Now, if you do something to get him out of there, you have a chance. But I'll guarantee you, when you throw it in there.
Oh, the old Meadowlands midfield.
I've seen some of those hits nowadays.
Yeah.
Those aren't bad.
I haven't seen Vikings in this yet, so I guess that's good.
1990, you're not going to. Webster Slaughter.
Go back to a pointed spots. Now, right here, he's leading him into the man. Right there, he's got to slow down because he knows he's coming. He has to know that defense is a zone, and as a result, Jesse pays the price. I'm sorry about that.
It's Cleveland.
Cleveland Buffalo, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Kenny Davis.
Lead block by Mueller, 51 on Grayson, 56.
And you see offensive players do this nowadays. They can't throw a flag on that, but refs will.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
That 82 guy hit a lot for the Giants.
Is that Lionel Manuel? Yeah. Or Mark That's Ingram.
It's Ingram, huh?
Mark Ingram.
Ooh.
Oh, now that would have been a flag. It's Isaac Holt. Yeah, it's Isaac Holt. Yeah, that would have been a flag.
Yeah.
That would be a flag nowadays.
Leading with the helmet.
Leading with the helmet, defenseless receiver.
Oh, red gun, Falcons.
They're going to go with 4, 5, and 6 defensive backs.
Falcons with the red gun, the Bills with the K gun.
Yeah.
Run and shoot.
He doesn't coming. As soon as he turns, you've got the leverage on him and all the momentum behind you.
Yeah, here we go. Hey, Wade, how about you throw it? What are you looking at, Wade? What are you... Oh, that's a penalty. Did he call a flag on that?
No. Nope, left him out there to get hung out to dry.
Oh my God, how did they not throw a penalty on that?
Yeah, those. I mean, the NFL used to make money off of those.
Yeah, like you would go to Blockbuster Video and they would have them there for you to rent.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know. Somehow they've got this attitude now that everything is offense, which is just BS.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's they're kind of going with the NBA's model, which doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for the young people need to watch that because they'll see how much the NFL has changed.
it's much softer.
That's what you and I grew up watching.
Yeah, that's a lot of those hits are the reason many of us played football.
Yeah, coming up on Saturday night, last week's hits highlight show, last week's best hits in the NFL.
Yeah, and then what we
was it the show, the HBO show Inside the NFL?
Inside the NFL,
they would have all those hits.
Yep. And they won that in ESPN. They used to put out like these shows like NFL Crash Course. It was on video. Then they broadcasted it.
Yeah.
And there was other ones too. The Enforcers. That was just like some of the hardest hitters of all time in the NFL. And there was a lot of them. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was part of the game. It was a big part of the game.
The early 2000s was not as bad as the 80s and 90s. It started to go more towards what it is today, but it's still night and day difference.
It changed drastically within the last 6-7 years.
Yeah.
It's you could still actually 2012, 2013, you could still hit. But as time has went on, it's gotten just to the point of now.
I mean, that Mark Kelso hit, maybe not, or the Isaac Holt hit, no. But
no, the Isaac Holt hit
some of those other hits should still be legal.
Yeah, those other hits would be legal.
Yeah.
They didn't protect the quarterback that much either. They started they're protecting the quarterbacks now because that's where the money is. That's the draw.
Money maker of the league.
Right. And guess what? After what they went through last year with Aaron Rodgers, which was nobody's fault but Aaron Rodgers.
Does the league make more money with Mahomes playing or Mahomes hurt?
I don't think it matters. They still make money.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, though. They'd rather have Mahomes out there, more eyeballs.
You're still going to have eyeballs. It's the NFL.
Well, I know some people quit watching the NFL.
Okay, good riddance to them. Fuck them.
Yeah.
If they don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But the NFL will never be hurting for fans. They'll never be hurting for money.
No.
And that's the bottom line.
Just don't go sit still.
And you're right, David. If the star quarterback gets hurt, the ratings do go down. But guess what? If the game is good, you're still going to watch it. If you're a real football fan, you're going to watch it.
I mean, hell, we watch the XFL.
It's the casuals that won't watch it.
Yeah.
And that's what
people who love football watch XFL. They watch the AAF. They watch.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing that got the NFL on this whole thing of watching player status. Fantasy football. There are people that don't know football at all, but they play fantasy football and they want to keep track of what their players are doing. I
remember there was a survey they did like an online survey and they asked, I don't know, 60, 70,000, NFL
Mhm.
fans, do you care more about your NFL team or do you care more about your fantasy football team? And I was shocked that like 40% was they care more about their fantasy football team.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
I mean,
You got people that are playing fantasy football that don't even know what the hell football, don't even know the rules of football. You just don't.
like they'd be
You know,
like, oh, like I, I don't. I've won championships in fantasy football before. Yeah, is it a good feeling? Yes.
yeah, it's just for bragging rights. So the next
The
year,
Vikings win the Super Bowl.
oh fuck
I
that
couldn't even
fantasy football
imagine what that would feel
championship.
like. I couldn't even imagine.
And JDT, you're right. There is so much money in fantasy football. So much money. It's ridiculous. That's kind of where the
I
NFL.
mean, not only that, Major League Baseball makes money off of MLB fantasy baseball. So even baseball makes money off of it.
Yep.
I think hockey's probably the only sport that doesn't really have fantasy.
Hockey doesn't have fantasy anything. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they do. FanDuel.
But well, they have FanDuel, but I don't think they have like fantasy. Like,
I've never heard of them having like a fantasy hockey league. I could be wrong.
yeah,
Um, basketball does, but I mean, the NFL garnered so much money with fantasy football. I mean,
all the
it's
all the
oh my
sponsoring
god,
and stuff like
yes.
that they get from it. I mean,
And
hell, NFL.com does fantasy football leagues.
and that's the thing. I think people should have realized that once the NFL got into fantasy football, gambling wasn't that far behind. Legalized gambling, it wasn't that far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, JDT, I think you're right. They do have ESPN as fantasy hockey. JJ, there is I think there's a hockey game that's like a Madden. Which I ain't gonna lie, when I played video games, I did like playing the hockey.
No, it's called NHL.
Mm-hmm.
It's called NHL. It's called EA NHL hockey. It's just like Madden.
NHL 24 or something.
Yeah, it's just like Madden. It's got ultimate teams. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's
The franchise mode sucks because they don't really make money off of it.
right. And now they're hyping it, and here's another one now. College football.
Well, I saw the trailer, and they said they were going to focus on franchise. I hope they do.
College football?
Yeah. But they're offering like $100 for $100. You get to play the game 3 days early, but you also get ultimate team packs. So people are dumb. People spend money hand over fist. I remember having a conversation about 15 years ago with some of my gamer buddies about these microtransactions. I said, we need to stop this now. We need to stop buying the content now because if we don't, it's just going to get out of control. And it's out of control.
It did. Well, and I hate to say it, you got a whole generation that never played a down of football, but they played Madden, so they think they know football.
Yeah.
It's just,
They've never played football. They don't know anything about football. They think they know about football.
they think.
I hate to tell you guys, Madden is not a simulation. If you could run back 25 yards with your quarterback and to throw the ball 85 yards, that's not simulation football.
Nope.
He's a punter. They hand out the ball left-handed for the running left because he's better at it than your starting quarterback.
Yep.
That's not football. You run every play, don't throw once, and they can't stop you at all. That's not football.
Yeah, and it's also a video game. So guess what? Defense is optional.
Yeah. So yeah, it's.
Yeah, I played Madden used to play
2K
Madden.
football was simulation.
Yeah.
You actually had to think to play that game. You actually had to outthink the computer. You couldn't just run the same play over and over again.
Yep. It's the Madden world kind of took over real sports, and
Yeah.
it ain't for the better. I'm sorry. It's not.
But the
I'm not.
NFL has the exclusive contract, so
Yeah, and here's the thing. It was great back in the day when you had different companies were able to use NFL teams and the players. You had different companies putting games out. But
yeah.
once EA Sports bought the exclusive rights to the
They got scared.
NFL, nobody else did it.
They got scared because 2K game was cheaper and it was better.
I like 2K. I like the 2K series.
There used to be a 99 Sports NFL Game Day.
Yeah.
Made by Sony. Acclaim made a game, NFL game. Xbox, when that first came out, they had their own.
They had a game, yeah.
They had a game. Peyton Manning was on the cover. 2K had a game.
2K was Sega.
Sega Dreamcast.
Sega Dreamcast.
And then when
Sega, they were for all platforms.
And then when Sega stopped making software, they stopped making consoles.
Right.
2K, who was the developer of sports, the Sega Sports Department, bought out Sports Department. So 2K Games used to be Sega. So like your Grand Theft Auto, the Rockstar Games is owned by 2K.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So that's where that started from. And that's the NBA 2K game. That's gotten kind of bad with microtransactions, so I'm not gonna like just play EA for it. But at least the basketball game is better.
I never, you know what? And EA had like NBA Live, which I never bought that one. I bought the other one, the other basketball game.
No, George, we have not watched the wrestler yet.
I haven't seen it yet. I still got to see that damn movie. Still got.
I probably won't, to be honest with you.
I'm not the biggest Mickey Rourke guy. I'm not.
I'm not the biggest wrestling fan.
Yeah, and you've got, a family member that was a wrestler.
Yeah.
So, movies about wrestling, like movies about sports and stuff like that, I have a hard time watching. I just do.
Well, because you can see the inaccuracies.
Yeah.
Unless it's a movie like Necessary Roughness, where it's supposed to be kooky, funny, or like The Waterboy, where it's not supposed to be
right
this or that.
Even with
that's funny, but when it's supposed to be like a simulation, like Any Given Sunday was pretty good.
Yeah, they were kind of extreme, but a lot of the stuff in there actually does happen.
Well, what about the ESPN show that the NFL killed?
Which one?
Playmakers. Was it Playmakers or what was the show?
Playmakers was on the CW, I believe. Who was in that show?
Playmakers. We're telling the truth. The rise and the demise of ESPN's NFL show, football show, because they're telling real life stories from the NFL.
Oh, okay. Okay. You heard about NFL Network now, right?
On October 4th, 2004, the day of the Super Bowl, Playmakers was canceled. Shapiro told the LA Times that the NFL's reaction was the primary factor in deciding to cancel it, but it was his call. Yeah. He canceled it because they wanted the Monday Night Football, and they got Monday Night Football because he canceled the show.
Yeah.
Let me see who was in it.
Well, also now be prepared because NFL Network is going to be owned by ESPN. It's going to be run by ESPN now.
So Russell Hornsby was the lead character.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Dennison, Christopher Weil, Wiehl. Marcelo Fedford, Jason Matthew Smith, Omar Gooding. I guess that's Cuba's brother.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't anybody famous in it. But yeah, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8 out of 4, 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 93% approval rating by the audience. It was a good show, but NFL killed it because it was based on true stories.
Too realistic.
Yeah.
Which the NFL, I tell you what. And here's the thing: the NFL's always made money off those type of stories, some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they want to cover up a lot of those stories. And I don't understand that, but I think it has a lot to do with they want to put a product out there that can get more money out of, and they don't need the negativity bullshit.
Yeah.
But by the way, people, for all those little things that the NFL does, like the Cancer Weekend and Salute to Service and all that stuff, the NFL makes money off of that too.
They don't do it out of the kindness of their heart. The military.
They don't do it out of the kindness of their heart. Certain, like the Susan G. Coleman people, pay the NFL for that weekend.
And the Army pays people for the return.
And the Department of Defense pays for the Salute to Service.
Yeah.
So the NFL does not do anything out of the goodness of their heart. So when they say if a team says they're losing money, that's bullshit. Big time bullshit.
Or they're not run very well.
I would go where they're not run very well. Take a look at the infrastructure of the team to see where that money's
going.
Put
it this way. The Redskins were profitable with that guy as the owner.
Yeah. They were. And he was a cheap bastard. They were profitable.
Yeah.
They were profitable.
The wrestler probably is realistic, George. I don't know. If my wife wants to watch it, I'll watch it with her.
From those that have seen it, even former pro wrestlers like Roddy Piper, before he died, he saw it. And he said it brought back a lot of memories, and it was realistic. It really was.
Yeah, George, did you ever I can't remember, did you watch that wrestling show that we did with my brother-in-law?
Oh, JDT, good question. Who's the next owner to sell? The Falcons? The next to sell?
It all depends on which owner dies and if their family does not want to run the team.
And see, Blank is 82.
Yeah.
Blank is 82.
We know Stephen Jones is going to take over the Cowboys from Jerry.
Right. I'm trying to think now.
Because Seattle was just bought, weren't they?
Yes.
Because Paul Allen died.
Yep.
I think
the old lady. Which old lady, JT? JDT? Which old lady?
The Bears, the McCaskey.
McCaskey?
I don't think they're going to.
She's going to sell. They've already got family members in place that'll.
I don't remember seeing questions for you, George. I could be wrong. I don't know. That was a long while ago. I think it's T. You know what? Because I remember T-Bass saying George in the chat, but I was like, from what I remember, if that's the correct chat, I remember T-Bass mentioning you in the chat, but for some reason, your chats weren't showing up for some reason. I think that's probably because George, if you answered the question, if I would have saw it, I would have definitely had an answer. We can always. He said he'll do it again. So
yeah, we have to have him on.
Yeah.
She must have hit it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, her son-in-law runs it.
Her son-in-law runs it.
Yeah. The Packers. I was kidding. Well, the Houston just.
Oh, it's Houston, Tennessee.
Well, they need a new owner because she's not very well.
She's in Adams, though. She's the reason Mike Vrabel doesn't have a job. She fired him. So,
Tennessee. if the NFL ever gets tired of the USA's, um,
Oh, you mean if they want to
oh,
move? If you want to move overseas?
the Dolphins.
No, Khan wants to move those Jaguars to England.
Well,
Khan
isn't he British? Isn't he
he's a
British?
British citizen. He wants them. That's why the Jaguars are playing over there twice a year, because he wants to move the Jaguars over there to England, and they're trying to get a. The NFL is actually taking it into consideration.
Well, they're trying to get a new stadium in Jacksonville right now.
They're going to get one.
Because right now the plan that they have does not include taxpayer money, so it's probably going to get approved. So that which means
They're going to get one.
which means they ain't moving to London. Now what? Now if they do want to put a team in London, he might sell Jacksonville and buy the London and get.
Why doesn't the NFL just go back to NFL Europe?
They said they were losing money, but I doubt very seriously.
They were not losing money.
I would seriously doubt that if they did it today, they would not lose money.
Not with the gambling money.
Yeah.
They're not. That's bullshit. See, if that's what I mean. The NFL is full of shit.
I mean, come on, Barcelona Dragons. They had They had the best uniforms ever.
Those European teams made money.
Yeah.
Those fans over there love those teams.
Obviously, look how long the Frankfurt Galaxy were around. The Rhine Fire. Those teams, the Scottish Claymores, they're around forever.
Yeah. It was
I would love. Don't get me wrong. I like the UFL, but I would like to have the NFL Europe would be much better.
I mean, London.
They actually put NFL players on there.
They did, and London had the Monarchs. You could put teams over there and still make money. You put them in.
Yeah. It was the London Monarchs, Barcelona Dragons, Frankfurt Galaxy, the Rhine Fire,
Scottish Claymores.
Well, Scottish Claymores. The London Monarchs turned into the Scottish Claymores. Let's see what other. The Berlin. There was a team in Berlin.
The Rhine Fire.
And then you had the Montreal Machine, the Birmingham Fire,
Sacramento Surge,
Orlando Thunder,
New York, New Jersey Knights.
Yep, and they had the horse from the.
They had the chess piece.
Yes. Then you also had Raleigh Durham
Skyhawks. Raleigh Durham Skyhawks.
Yep. I think there was San Antonio Express?
Yes, San Antonio Express.
Yeah.
There was another Southern team, wasn't there?
Did Memphis have a team?
Memphis Southmen were WFL.
Yeah. Because they were mostly in cities that didn't have a team.
You know who was the first commissioner for the World League, right?
Yeah, Mike Lynn. He left the Vikings.
Yep, Mike Lynn.
Start that league.
Yep, and he still made money from the Vikings till the day he died. Well, money from
that was ingenious. I'm sorry.
I'm still looking into that. How the hell he got that provision in there that he made money off those suites for the life of the stadium. So, JDT, you're right. The owners got greedy. And I think what's his name had a lot to do with that too, Jerry Jones. But now for this, with the way the league is making money hand over fist now, no team should ever say that they're losing money. If they are, you need to look at their books. And put it this way, the Vikings especially, because guess what? That the Viking Stadium is paid off. So, I mean, the Wilfs are making money big time. They are.
So, London Monarchs, Barcelona Dragons, Frankfurt Galaxy. That was the European division.
Okay.
The North American East was New York, New Jersey Knights, Orlando Thunder, Montreal Machine, Raleigh Durham Skyhawks.
Okay. Orlando.
The,
That's the one.
the North American West was Sacramento Surge, San Antonio Riders, and Birmingham Fire. So we got all the teams we didn't forget any.
Birmingham, because they moved the Fire over to Europe later.
Yeah. And then
They became the Rhine Fire, Germany. George, thank you for the $10.
And then, let's see, NFL Europe is when they got rid of the American teams.
Yeah.
And it just became, it just became European teams.
European
So
teams.
it was the Hamburg Sea Devils. This was the last year of existence.
Sea Devils, that's what it was.
Hamburg Sea Devils, Frankfurt Galaxy, the Cologne Centurions,
Centurions, that's who I'm thinking of.
Rhine Fire, Amsterdam Admirals,
Okay.
and Berlin Thunder.
Oh, okay. That's right, JDT. They had all those European teams on Madden.
So, yep, all time, Barcelona Dragons, Frankfurt Galaxy, London Monarchs, Montreal Machine, New York, New Jersey Knights, Ohio Glory, Orlando Thunder, Raleigh Durham Skyhawks, Birmingham Fire, San Antonio Riders, and Sacramento Surge.
Okay.
And then Amsterdam Admiral, Barcelona FC, Barcelona Dragons, Berlin Thunder, Cologne Centurions, Frankfurt Galaxy, Hamburg Sea Devils, London, England Monarchs, Rhine Fire, Scottish Claymores. So those were the teams in the original NFL Europe, and not the original, but the one. And then Stan Galball was the offensive MVP. Then David Archer, Paul Jordan, T.J. Rubley, Marcus Robinson, Lawrence Phillips, Aaron Stecker, Mark Green, Jamal Robinson, Dave Ragone, J.T. O'Sullivan. Didn't he play for Minnesota?
O'Sullivan was a Viking, yeah. Yeah, O'Sullivan was a Viking. Yep.
And defensive MVP, I've never heard of any of these guys.
Damn. Well, hey, Catch, we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, no worries.
So within another 2 weeks, a couple of weeks, we'll have another free for all.
Hopefully, we have more stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next week we will have our vintage on. So, to everybody that watched us tonight, thank you so much.
Thank you for the donos, George.
Thank you for the donos, George. It's always interesting. We love doing this. We love your input. We love talking to you guys. We're building up a nice
football heavy. This show is usually not this football heavy, but it was kind of football heavy today.
Yeah.
But now that I have this additional screen, at least the show's a lot more interesting. It was good getting that Jerry Burns in there.
Oh, and George, I will be at Skullfest too.
I'm gonna try, because Tony lives in Minnesota, so he can go.
It's easy. It's easy for me to get to. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Yep.
I already have a buddy who lives in Minnesota who said I could stay with him.
What part What part?
He lives by the stadium.
Oh, he's over here by me? Because I'm close to the stadium.
He works for Kellogg's. He packs the cereal boxes. He works at the factory. That's what he does.
Oh, he works in the packing? That's where that is.
But I think he said he's not too far from the stadium is all he told me.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not.
He says he's like 14 floors up.
Yeah, I am. I'm not that far from the stadium either. So yeah, but yeah, I will be at Skullfest too.
So I'm going to try to be there.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, like I said, appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. We will see you guys Wednesday for the vintage show, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for this show.
Take care.
We might pipe on different shows, but these are our 2 shows, so
right.
We'll go ahead and take care of that for you guys, and see you guys Wednesday.
We move forward like soldiers, you better wake up for the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a